Hello, welcome. On Tuesday, Kenyans will elect a president that will replace President Uhuru Kenyatta. The two main candidates, Deputy President William Ruto and opposition leader Raila Odinga, have made their final pitches to Kenyans. The media is tagging the election as one between the hustler and the dynasty. While William Ruto sells himself as the hustler, Raila Odinga represents the dynasty. The interesting twist is that the president supports the opposition leader, Raila Odinga, against his deputy, William Ruto. Polls show that it is a close election. In Accra, Ghana, the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, is on a 2-day visit. During the visit, she will go to markets and meet local farmers. She wants to see how the U.S. can work with Ghana to alleviate food insecurity. She will also deliver a speech on the U.S. foreign policy in Africa, with a special emphasis on food security. This is important as the ongoing war in Ukraine is impacting the global food supply. Meanwhile, African athletes shine at the Commonwealth Games in the UK. Different athletes are breaking records and setting new ones. It is 11 a.m. in New York City, 4 p.m. in Nigeria. Wherever in the world you are joining us, welcome to another episode of 90 Minutes Africa. I am Rudolph Okonkwo. My co-host, Chido Anuma, is off today. On our show today, we have a guest who is watching all these stories out of Africa on her plasma TV with the help of Koledowo. Yes, she did not start paying attention to African stories today. She started a very long time ago. Take a look.
Unappreciated. Africa, Sahara to the Atlantic. Africa from Zululand to Yoruba land. Africa from Nile River to River Niger. Africa, rain and sunshine round the year. Africa with her greenery luster. Africa with coolness, calmness, a serenity unequal. Africa, your hospitality and warmth taken for granted. Africa, ripped and left desolate, yet richly blessed. Africa, your children scattered all over the world, crying for you. Africa, you are simply mine.
Yes, that's our guest. She has been responsible for the removal of several presidents from power in Africa. Here is another example.
Mr. President, I know you can hear me. Yeah, you're pushing me, sir. You're pushing me. Sir, don't you think it's time to step down, sir?
It's okay.
Sir, don't you think it's time to step down?
Pardon.
Can you say something, sir? Do you think it's time to step down?
Which one?
How's your health? How are you feeling?
You know it. Sure.
Yes, that's our guest today. Without wasting more time, please welcome to the show, Adeola Fayehun. Adeola, welcome to the show.
Really, you had to go there.
I didn't even go far enough. I didn't go
like
far
really.
enough. Yeah, there was no time. But
There was no need to, all this.
welcome. It's nice to have you. A lot of people have been demanding that we should have you. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
We should have you. You are the right person to talk to today about Africa. So let's start with Tuesday in Kenya. There will be an election in Kenya for a new president. I know you've been watching. What do you think about what's going on?
So honestly, I wish that I could be in Kenya at a time like this, just to experience their election. Because I'm trying to see if there are things that we can learn from Kenya in terms of our election. I know they may disagree with me because everybody feels like, oh, they are yet to get it right. But do you remember the last time that they had an election in the Gambia? How they use this system that most people are not using, and we're all like, wow, this is very easy. They make it very easy, very simple, and we learned a few things with how they do election in the Gambia. So honestly, I wish that I could also do that. I wish I could also do that with the Kenyan election, because we have so much in common actually than our differences. But at the same time, I'm really curious to see how this election turns out. It's been very heated, and all the candidates, in my opinion, are interesting. And I would love to, first of all, see who wins, but also the whole electoral process. I watched an interview by BBC about how much money they spend on election in Kenya, and how the people are advocating that they shouldn't be spending so much on campaigns, I should say. But a part of me was laughing when I was watching that, when I was hearing the money that they were mentioning. Because, Nigerian officials, they spend way more than that. So I really would like to see how this election ends. I mean, how it turns out. So speaking of the candidates being interesting, I was really fascinated by some of the candidates, and I wonder whether or not the country is ready for candidates like that. It's just like Nigeria. So I'm really, really excited. I'm going through your comments, Dr. Damages, and the first one that stood out to me is by Oludare Ishola. And he says Adeola is getting fat. Wow. I think you're muted. I can't hear you, Rudolph. Okay, I hear you now.
Okay. All right. So yeah, we're going to get to all those things, how it is, the work you do, and comments by people. But let's move from Kenya to Nigeria. So Nigeria is planning to have elections next year, and you've been covering that. What is your take so far? What have you seen? What are the trends?
So I think we have so much in common. First of all, a lot of the candidates, forgive me that I'm eating my breakfast as we're talking. A lot of the candidates in Kenya, just like Nigeria, they come up with all these promises, right, Rudolph? But they don't necessarily tell you exactly how they will.
Leave in the comments. Just
Exactly how they would do these things. They don't necessarily say. But it's so convenient, so easy to say, oh, I'm gonna fix your roads, I'm gonna give you stable electricity, we're gonna create jobs. That's a very popular one in every country. Remember how Buhari said they will create 1 million jobs? We're gonna create jobs, we're gonna fix your roads, we'll fix electricity, Boko Haram will be gone in 3 months. I think the popular candidates in Kenya are doing the same thing in terms of, telling us they will do this, they will do that. But to be honest with you, they are not being specific in terms of exactly how they will fix these things. So I think that's a common ground that we have with them. At the same time, a lot of the candidates, well, some of the candidates have criminal background or criminal record. Let me not say background, sorry, criminal record. And so the same thing is happening in Nigeria. We have so many candidates that are, that have had criminal records, and they're still running, they're still very bold. So believe it or not, we have so much in common. And then you have the people, the voters. tearing themselves apart, just like we do in Nigeria. We People will kill for a candidate, and these candidates are actually not fighting amongst themselves, but the voters are always fighting to say my own candidate is better, my own candidate is the best. But I think there's a dynamic to what is happening in Kenya. First of all, the fact that the president is not supporting his own vice president, and he makes it public, he's not hiding it. In a way, it reminds me of Nigeria as well. I'm not saying that Buhari supported Osinbajo or not. I'm just saying Buhari's VP was also trying to be president. In Kenya, the president is not hiding in that he's not supporting the vice president. Also, the vice president, all eyes are on him in terms of his record. There was a time that he was voted the most corrupt politician in Kenya. But don't forget that on the same list, the president is also there, and also what's it called? Odinga is also on that list. And then I think the most fascinating thing happening in Kenya right now is seeing one of the most popular candidates is someone that wants to legalize the commercialization of cannabis, and to see how eloquent and how, the man, he's very smart. 16 degrees, this man has 16 degrees, and now he's a lawyer, well-read, well-traveled. And so I really, really am fascinated by all these candidates. I would love to see a woman candidate in Kenya soon. And it may look like I'm asking much, because even in Nigeria, we have not. But I would love to see, a woman run for office in Kenya as well, or become the president of Kenya. And speaking of that, I've seen so many videos of women running and the challenges that they face, from not being taken seriously to people throwing sexual slurs at them and dismissing them just because they're women, and how they have to put in extra efforts just to prove themselves, and how in some communities they need to get the permission of their husband to do politics and stuff, and it's just crazy. So Kenyan election has been fascinating so far.
Okay, let's go to Nigeria. What is your take on the three main candidates? Peter Obi and Bola Tinubu.
Don't put me on the spot like that.
No, I mean, it's what you do every day. I just want people who may not.
Wait. Did you just say Peter Obi and Bola Tinubu? Where did you put my father Atiku?
Who?
Still in the race.
Oh, yeah, I know. I mentioned Atiku. Yeah, I mentioned
Oh,
Atiku.
did you? Okay.
Atiku.
They're all my fathers, by the way. I was just surprised that now you narrow it down.
Kwankwaso too is still running, of course.
I don't know. It's true. Sowore is also running. Let's not forget.
No, we'll get to Sowore. It's the next topic after.
Oh, no. We're not getting to Sowore.
On Tinubu and no, seriously, what do you think? I mean, what do you think about what appears to be a movement going on in Nigeria?
Did you see the video of Peter Obi's supporters in Nasarawa State?
Yes, I saw that. And what do you think about that?
It's definitely a movement.
No, that's not that. No, what are you concerned about
his campaign has been a movement, really.
Yeah.
It reminds me of when was that, when Obama was campaigning? 2008. Wow, it's been that long. Yeah. And I remember when Obama started, there were a lot of people who didn't take him seriously. And there were a lot of people, even people that liked him, that would say things like, well, if only he could win. A lot of people say that now about Peter Obi, like, the only thing is he won't win. I'm not saying he would win or not. But people would say things like, wow, like I've seen a lot of people that would say things like, wow, they really like Peter Obi, except that he's not going to win. I saw a lot of that when Obama was running for office. And gradually he started gaining, his campaign started gaining momentum, and more people knew about him. And like joke or like play, as they say, he won. So Peter Obi's campaign has been a movement, really. And for the first time, you see the young people that came out to register to vote. He has inspired a lot of people. Whether he knows it or not, he has inspired a lot of people, especially young people. He's to a lot of young Nigerians right now, he's like a symbol of hope. Now, okay, this is someone that is younger, and that they believe in. And then you have a contrast with Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, because in terms of age, and then in terms of his campaign strategy has been different. Like Bola Tinubu's campaign has been about, just going by the things that he had said, like, Emilokan, it's my turn. Things like feed young people cassava, feed them, just some of the things that he has said. And this whole glorification of broom. I have no idea who is going to win, who is going to be president. But I really appreciate the fact that now people are using the modern, when I saw the video of the Nasarawa rally for Peter Obi, a lot of the comments were people saying things like, the most wonderful thing is that these people were not paid. They came out of their own. I don't have a proof for that. But I think that is inspiring to see people come out. And then we have the other candidates who, to me, are still playing like the traditional politics that we play in Nigeria. So I don't want to shoot myself in the leg.
You don't want to go for that. But let's look at this. Over this last few months, we've touched on several issues. The certificate issues with
people are waiting for me to post the response of the school. The school is here to respond to me. I don't know why.
Adeola, ignore these people who are coming. Just let's talk.
No, I'm not even talking about the comments. I'm just saying, I called the school.
Deal with the comments. So there's a time for them to join us, and we will get that. So we talk about the certificate issues about with Bola Tinubu, Atiku, issues of the name, the proper name. There's so many things that they come in and they go. How do you deal with this? Because people tend to accuse people like us of not sticking with these issues. So we sweep it aside and move on to other issues. And
no, we're sticking with the issue. I'm sticking with the issues. I mean, I've done so many episodes on the candidates, like with each development. When Peter Obi went to Egypt to learn how to fix Nigeria, we talked about it. When the certificate issue came up, we talked about it. I even called the school. Every single move, like, I have been, I've tried. It's not like I've been on top of everything. But that just shows me how quickly Nigerian politics changes. So it's been, for me, eye-opening. And it's been a lot of work, because there were times that I would shoot something, and by the time we're done editing, the story has changed.
Go ahead.
So I don't know what would happen tomorrow. Now I shoot something and I have to put it out like ASAP. Because things keep changing. And so I think there's a lot of drama. It's like on my show now, I tell people that if you're tired of Nollywood or watching movies, just watch Nigerian movies. So that's why it's kind of hard to be on top of everything, because things keep changing.
Okay, let me play a video before we continue of you.
Thank you. Covering some of the stolen money, stolen by corrupt government officials that were there in the past. How true is this, and like how much have you been able to recover?
I can't give figures now, and because of the legal implications. It's much easier to talk, but what we are doing, we are collecting documents. For example, every ship that is loading Nigerian crude from our terminals is supposed to record how much it has taken and on behalf of who is lifting it.
So you've been focusing a lot on corruption since you were sworn in, and a lot of Nigerians applaud this. However, some people are saying that the economy has not been doing so well since you were sworn in, and they would like to know, when will you start focusing on the economy as well?
How many months is it? It has taken the previous government about 10 years to destroy Nigerian economy, and it's much, much more easier to destroy than to build. I don't think Nigerians are being fair if they expect us within the 3 months or 4 months we have the government has come to turn things around.
All right. So Adeola she's gone. Where is Adeola? This has never happened on 90 Minutes Africa. All right. When she comes back, we are going to talk about her perspective on what happened with the Buhari's government. Why did the government fail? Someone said rapture. What Nigerians should be concerned about with the next administration. We're also going to hear from her about Sowore and his campaign, and then so many other things. Let's see what's happening to Adeola. Why she decided to bail on us. Meanwhile, let me while we wait for her to come back, let me also play her encounter with President Goodluck Jonathan on the streets of New York City.
Question: what exactly you are doing to help to stop Boko Haram? I know that you declared state of emergency and all that.
We are working very hard on that.
How exactly, sir?
We are working very hard.
And 3,000 people have died.
Maybe you need to update your statistics.
Thank you very much. All right, thank you.
It's okay.
Thank you. He's our president. It's okay if he talks to us. Oh, please, let me take a picture with him. No. Just get me next to him. You got me, right? You got me? Thank you, Mr. President. You're actually a nice person. I do a show every week and I talk about you.
Thank you.
I hope you're watching it.
All right. I'm sorry. I have to figure out what's going on. Some people are saying that's never happened. Okay. All right. Let me take a break, and I will be right back. We'll figure out what's happening. In the meantime, let's watch a little bit more of Adeola.
For days, of course, people were like, why would a man of God, an anointed man of God, use policemen to harass a lady and put her in prison without trial? Only for the lady in prison to tell the whole world that she had an affair with the man of God for a whole year. We were like, no way, the devil is a liar. Once again, everything is allegedly, so don't let anybody quote me. She said that Suleiman was giving her thousands of dollars and taking her around the world, and that they were doing it together.
This man licks me from head to toe. He said I make him speak in tongues.
Stop it! Do you really have to play that? So she said that Suleiman got her pregnant and then proposed to her, and that she accepted his proposal, that he said he was going to divorce his wife, and then he told her to move to Nigeria, and she did. Upon getting to Nigeria, he allegedly gave her some juice, after which she was bleeding and she lost the baby. She also said that she was bleeding for months and that she almost died. So from that time on, she said that she could no longer reach the man of God like she used to, and he was threatening her. She believed that the man of God didn't want her to have the baby because that would have been an evidence of the affair, and that all they would have to do would be DNA test, and that because he would have more control over her in Nigeria, that's why he lured her to Nigeria in order to get rid of the pregnancy. fancy. Me, I don't know. But on March 3rd, Stephanie's lawyer, that is Festus Keyamo, wrote Apostle Suleiman. The letter said Apostle Suleiman broke her heart after promising to marry her and after getting her pregnant. So she's demanding for 500 million naira as damage control. Ladies and gentlemen, the very same day the letter came out was when Apostle Suleiman sent policemen to pick her up, to beat her, and to put her in Kirikiri prison. Stop right there. Just for 1 minute, my people. Forget that this man is a pastor, okay? Let's just assume he's a regular guy. If somebody should send you this kind of letter and you know that you are innocent and they're asking for 500 million, would you send police to go and beat them up and put them in prison? Especially considering the fact that this same man of God told everybody that he didn't know Stephanie, that he did not know her. He said that he has never met her, but he had her put in prison. Also, after they put her in prison, he charged her with terrorism. He charged her with terrorism.
All right. That's a little bit of okay. She's back. Very good. So
New York network, for how do I say?
Yeah. I know.
No, I'm in my village. Sorry.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming back. And so let's continue to look at Nigeria and the politics before we get into other things. I wanted you to talk about characters like Suleiman, but before we move to other things, Sowore, you know him. He's running for president. What is your take on his efforts? And
I'm always excited when I see people go beyond just talking about the issues in Nigeria to trying to make a difference, trying to do something about it. I don't think that we would understand the impact of Sowore running. This is the second time that he's running until later on, because I feel like, believe it or not, he has inspired a lot of young Nigerians. I'm not saying he's young, he's 50 something, but a lot of young Nigerians to go beyond talking online to actually trying to make a difference. So, and the only thing that confused me is that I don't know if you can be a politician and an activist at the same time, because then people may get confused. But now that I said it, I actually think you can, because there are some politicians they're politicians, but they're still advocating, especially for things that is beyond their power. So, but he does it all like simultaneously. So I think as an activist, he inspires people, and he has decided to continue doing that while being a politician at the same time. So I think that one of the great things that come out of, I remember like 4 years ago, Sowore was also like a beacon of hope for a lot of people. I remember people were donating money for him left and right. He was traveling the world, to campaigns, very just like what Peter Obi is doing now, except I would say on a bigger scale with Peter Obi, because like when you see the rallies for him, like the one that we saw in Ashrawa yesterday. So it's been inspiring, to say the least, to see when Nigerians go beyond just talking online to actually trying to make a difference.
All right, I played a video of you interviewing Buhari when
I saw that
months after he took over.
He became president,
and you sounded as if you were hopeful that he will make an impact. What happened?
I was very hopeful.
What happened?
We all were hopeful. What happened? I don't know if that question is for me or for Buhari.
For you. I mean, based on your assessment, he's one of your fathers,
I know all of them are my fathers, right?
Yeah. So you know what happened.
You are my father.
You should know what happened.
I don't think I personally did a good job in my research about him, because not until recently, when this whole, giving money to Niger, consulting train to Niger, not until then did I, It's like, seriously, what is this fascination with, or this obsession with Niger Republic? And I got to understand that his dad is from Niger Republic. He was born in Nigeria, but his dad is from Niger Republic. His mom is from Bono. And I was like, oh God, like, he's not a real Nigerian. Not in the sense of I mean, the man is more loyal to his father's country. His loyalty is not even with. And I was like, why the heck didn't you contest to be president of Niger Republic? You're obviously more loyal to Niger Republic. Why can't you just go and be president of Niger Republic? Why do you have to compete to be Nigerian president when your loyalty is with another country? Do you see that as a serious conflict of interest right there? He's been the biggest disappointment in terms of the leaders that we've had in Nigeria. I was so hopeful. I was so hopeful to the point where some people would say, oh, you collected money from Buhari. I mean, they accuse me of collecting money from every politician. If I talk about APC, they will say PDP has paid me. If I talk about PDP, they will say APC has paid me. It's hard to keep track of my sponsors, as you know. So I think what happened was the people around him, the moment they saw the trajectory of his government, because, you know, at the time that I interviewed him, he hadn't even announced his ministers. He was new in office when I interviewed him. And then the second time that I tried to interview him, you know what happened? You were there in that room. First of all, they didn't allow one-on-one interview because by then we could see where things were going a little bit. This was 2017, I think. And we're trying to interview him. After agreeing, when we got there, they said, no, it will be press conference. And then there was no, and they didn't even have it in mind to actually have a real press conference. Remember, after he came in reading this long speech that made my stomach turn. And then after that, he wanted to leave. He wanted to take pictures with the media and then leave. And then you remember what happened when they said that? Okay. I don't want to bore your viewers by telling them this story.
Now let's look at another person that was I know you interviewed him again, the vice president of Shibajo. I don't know what is your take on how he was treated by the APC or what happened to him.
I didn't interview him again. I wanted to interview him when he was in the race, and his people say that after he wins the primaries. Unfortunately, he didn't win the primaries. So you were asking my opinion about how he was treated.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think my father miscalculated. You know what I mean? You know, I'm always giving them advice on my show. I'm like, daddy, you know, do this so your life can be better. Give your life to Christ, and your life will never remain the same.
What did you advise him that he ignored?
For a long time, I was like, if you are not part of what is happening, because everything is going haywire. This government has been the worst that we've had. If you don't support everything that is happening, step down as vice president. I personally think if he had stepped down, either join another party or form his own party, I'm sorry to say, but he would have been the Peter Obi of today. Peter Obi is very, very popular right now. Did you see the video of him at Dunamis Church?
Yes, we have that video.
And when I saw that video, the first thing that came to my mind was, oh, I wonder how the vice president's people feel seeing this video. The whole, Peter Obi, when the biggest church, they were screaming. And then he knelt down, something very peculiar to that the GO of the vice president. He knelt down and they were screaming, he knelt down to worship God, to pray and stuff like that. And I said to myself, then the vice president and his people right now would wish that this was the vice president.
I,
So I think if he had stepped down and
Yeah.
then decided to run again, that he would have been people's love right now. That's just a personal opinion.
let me play that video for our viewers, a little bit of it before we continue.
And we also have with us tonight Mr. Peter Obi, who has joined us in for the service this evening. Hallelujah.
All right. You just said that this could have been the vice president if he had. But there are some people who are saying that this could also have been Sowore. But why didn't that?
So what went wrong, Rudolph? Why do you think it's not Sowore?
I don't know. I'm the one talking to you, interview.
No, we are talking to each other.
Yeah, sure. You can ask me. I'm prepared to answer questions.
We're talking to each other. I think Sowore could have played his game better. And I know this is not a game, but maybe I should say he could have played his politics better. One of the things that people appreciate about Peter Obi is his humility. I'm not saying that Sowore is not humble. And simplicity, So if I remember correctly, after Sowore ran the first time, there were some issues that came up by his own, party members. I don't think that he addressed them well. I think he addressed them, but with this idea of, it's just politicians that were behind them that are making them ask these questions, and they're being sponsored. So, but not everything is, people being sponsored. Not everyone is being sponsored. They're all like your supporters. They're, trying to get you into office. It's just courteous to just, be straightforward with them. So I don't know, but I think that might have hurt the continuity of things. Also, when he started the Revolution Now movement, then it was like overnight he switched from being a candidate campaigning to going back full time to being an activist. So there has to be a line. Not that you can't, be an activist with what you do, but I feel like he could have, played his politics better. But what do I know, Rudolph? I
don't know anything. All right, we have so much to get to, but and I know we don't have a lot of time. You are not staying as long as we wish to have you, but let me get to the job you do. What are the toughest thing about this thing you do, this keeping it real? What is, there are things that people don't know because people just watch it and they don't know how this is done. I know you have help from Color the War, and but what are the toughest part of that job?
Eating while you're doing it, and you don't have time.
Don't make me go. Eating while you are doing it. No, what is it? Because people see these things.
You don't have time to eat. It's hard.
Now, no. There are some serious issues I want you to talk about. Like, I made a video of you talking about Apostle Suleiman. Have you had a lot of pushbacks from people?
Oh. One other thing I forgot to say about Sowore, sorry. I think he also did himself some disservice by not necessarily attacking Peter Obi, but I just feel like if you're running for president, just run your own race. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying this because it's Sowore. I would say it because it's anyone. Like run your own race. There was this video where he was talking about how Peter Obi has no structure. I just feel like in that instance, he was doing himself. So does that make people want you more if you're trying to put down another candidate? And that's one of the things I really like about that professor in Kenya that wants to legalize commercialization of cannabis. He said it. He's like, you would never hear me say anything bad about other candidates. They're actually the ones that have paid way for me to be here today. I'm not supporting them. I'm not campaigning for them, but you would never hear me say anything bad about them. Everybody runs their own race the way they want. They run it differently. So I feel like if he hadn't done that, well, I feel like him doing that hurt his campaign a bit. He may not see it like that, by the way. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. But there's just no need to, try to attack.
Okay. What happened to Adeola again? All right. While we wait for her to join us again. Okay. Adeola, what's going on? Are you in? Okay.
I'm in the market.
All
No,
right.
you know what I noticed? Remind me after this. Because I shared this on my Facebook page and it's not playing. I'm realizing that your Facebook is not linked to this. So we need to
Yeah, because this 90 Minutes Africa. So it's linked to 90 Minutes Facebook, not my own personal Facebook.
Oh, okay. Let me find it and share that. And
Yeah, 90 Minutes Africa Facebook. So you can that's
90
what.
Minutes Africa. Because I like to share that on my page so that people
Okay.
can watch it there instead of having to come to YouTube.
Okay.
So yeah, the question that you asked.
Yeah. What are the challenges? What are the things that people don't see?
With this job that we do. Oh, awesome. I've seen the one on your Facebook page. Awesome. I'm about to share on my page. I just did. Awesome. There's a lot of challenges to doing just with anything that you do, there's a lot of challenges to doing what we're doing. I think for me, you have to first of all fight for the right to be heard. Does that make sense? You have to win people's heart and earn the right to be heard. I think that's the first thing. That was the first challenge. People needed to know, can they trust you? And I'm so excited that today there are so many YouTubers, talking about current affairs. When we started, you and I, when we started, there weren't that many talking about what was happening in Nigeria. And I remember at the time, a lot of people would say things like, get a real job, Who are you to talk about this? And then me being a woman, it was on another scale. This is why you don't have a boyfriend. You will never find a man because you are too loud. They talk too much. You're a woman. What do women know about politics? Go back to the kitchen. I remember doing an episode on Buhari talking about his wife belonging to the kitchen. I started by by cooking in my kitchen, I'm like, guys, there's no show today. Adeola is back to the kitchen because according to the president, this is all we are meant to do. And so I think you first of all had to earn the right to be heard and to be trusted. And then you want to reach as many people as possible, but even that is work. In Nigeria, for example, a country of 200 million people. Look at the number of subscribers that we have. It's not even a tip of the iceberg, and it's not even a drop in the bucket. So we're doing all this work, but then at the end of the day, the ratio of people seeing it compared to the population, and that's just Nigeria. Let's talk about the rest of Africa. Sometimes you wonder, is anybody even seeing what you're doing? And then you knew how I started when I went solo. And let me know if this is when you want me to talk about that and share my amazing pictures.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
But I learned, over the years, it's just start from where you are. You know what I mean? You don't have to have everything perfect, but just start from where you are. Use whatever you have to get what you don't have at the time. You don't have to have a lot of money. You don't have to have everything perfect. You can do so much with little. That has, that has been my story. And then you have to constantly be on top of your game in terms of following the news, knowing what is happening, which can be a lot, especially if you still want to have a life. It can be overwhelming. It can be so much. So I think for me, some of the challenges have been like funds. When you think about people that do what we do in America, people that are in this line in America are people that are doing like the late night shows, for example. The number of people that work with them, I mean, Rudolph, like on the Daily Show, how many people work with them?
I went to see David Letterman, and they have over 300 people working at the Late Show with David Letterman. Yeah, more than 300 people. Um, so you have only Koledo. Now, let me also talk about. I want you to talk about how do you handle
Wow.
viewers?
Do you know what we can do with 300 people, Rudolph?
Yeah. How do you handle comments? Comments that are critical, that are wrong, that are based on imagined idea of your life, and how do you respond to that?
Imagined idea of my life.
No, yeah, because there are comments like that, and of course, yeah, and of course, people who tend to attack you when you talk about certain things. Who are the most difficult group that you've dealt with?
You want me to
No,
get
just tell us.
Rudolph, I think if you do this kind of job that we do, you have to die to yourself, just like they teach in church. You die to yourself and then you put on Christ. Not to be honest, I've actually learned a lot from you. Like honestly, nobody can insult Rudolph. Like it doesn't matter what anybody says. It never gets to you. You're so ridiculous that you would take a comment that is abusing you and then you will expatiate on that comment and say things like, if only the village people will turn back or leave me alone, maybe I would have done better. I'm sorry on behalf of my village people. And then at the end of the day, the person insulting you will start laughing because they're like, you can't even get through to him. I've learned so much from you, Rudolph, so thank you. I don't do comments. I see comments and I'm like, thank God they're watching. At least this tells me they're watching. I don't do comments, but I think one of the struggles, or let me not say struggles, one of the challenges of what we do is sometimes when people try to get into our personal life, or maybe when they accuse us of things that are not true. And the reason I'm saying this is something happened recently, this week that we just ended. I posted a picture of me, saying that happy new month on August 1st. Trying to see if I can find that video. I mean that picture. So I posted it, just saying Happy New Month, greeting people. And then I went over the comments, and lo and behold, there was someone, talking about how I should stop bleaching my skin. Now, I have dark spots on my knees, which I should work on, but maybe someday. I don't know. Anyways, so I'm trying to see if I can, find that picture as I'm talking. So I then I saw that comment and I was like, not again. Like, why do people do this and stuff like that? So I said, oh, let me cause trouble on Facebook. And then I posted that comment, and I was like, how do I respond to this, my mother? So I didn't need to do that. So then I said that. I don't know if you're able to see it.
No, I can't say if unless
So I put that on the screen.
Yeah.
And some people were abusing her. That was not my intention, like for people to abuse her. I was just wondering, how do I respond to people? I was just wondering, how do I respond when someone says things like this? That's why I asked that question.
Okay.
So, but people were abusing her, and I felt bad, so I took it down. And then when I now brought it up with Victor, he was like, well, I've told you not to, like, you were not supposed to do that. So that's the picture. I don't know if it's showing.
No, it's showing here. I know. I should have given you. Oh, okay. Let me see if I can add this here.
Yeah. So I think maybe because they saw the dark spot on my knees. Anyways, not to cut the long story short, Victor was like, this person commented, and maybe a few people saw it, but when you highlighted their comment, then everybody saw it, and I felt really bad. I took it down. That wasn't my intention. But I learned every day that with what we do, you have to be really careful. Every little thing that you do can be magnified and turn it. Even my email, I tell my guys, I say, when you respond to my email, please keep in mind that anything you write can be published. Especially when you're the one criticizing people, you have to be extra careful, because there are people, believe it or not, who are waiting for any excuse to say, see, we knew you're not better, or also this kind of person you are. So I think every single day you wake up, when you do what we do, you have to consciously wear this outfit called humility and be there to yourself. Have no feelings at all. If anybody abuses you, yabs you, just pray for them, move on, because their abuse will not be publicized, but your response will be made public. And I mean, look at what happened to Will Smith. I feel bad for the man, for both of them actually. And in like 1 minute, everybody sort of forgot about all the great things he's done. So I think when you do this, you are in the limelight, and it doesn't matter. Somebody may be having a bad day when they're writing a comment about you. It doesn't necessarily reflect that is the kind of person they are. Somebody may just got a sack letter, or they just got sent out of their apartment, and then they see your show. They're already looking for a place to vent, and then you are vexing them because you are laughing about something that is very dear to them. They are saying that you should be obedient, but you are laughing. You are talking about Peter Obi going to Egypt, and so they come on there and they cuss you out. They've forgotten about what they did. Why would I now see them be crying over something that the person that even typed it has forgotten? And the most amazing thing is, a lot of people, when they abuse you online, when they see you physically, they're actually not like that.
Yeah, that's true. But let me we are going to go back so that you show some of the pictures of how you started. We are totally running out of time. I'm not happy about this. We have so much things to cover. But let me play a little bit of this video. I think you will identify this video.
What's your name?
Good luck.
Listen, you are in the house of the Almighty. Stop lying.
No, my name is Good Luck. Good luck.
Nobody gets to heaven by luck. You get to heaven only by His grace. So I ask you again, what's your name?
Good Grace.
And where are you from?
Abuja.
Nobody comes here from Abuja. Nobody but the thieves. Where are you from?
Bayelsa.
And why are you here?
I'm here to make a confession.
Yes, I'm listening.
I'm a witch for the IMF.
The IMF does not send witch.
All right, I know. They're familiar with this. So
What prompted that script, Rudolph? Why did you write that script?
So look at Sammy. This okay? No. And the issue is this: because of all the bad things that you did,
that I did.
you produced this. You edited that video. People don't know this till today. That you made a whole president of the country kneel down for hours, telling the director to repeat and repeat and repeat.
I have nothing to do with this video. Am I in the video? what evidence do you have?
But this is the point. There's a bigger point here. People say to you, and I'm sure they say that to me too, that when Jonathan was in power, you guys were all about Jonathan, holding him, trying to get him to do the right thing. But when Buhari became president,
so how do you feel now that Buhari has done worse than Jonathan? You are yet to write a script as Buhari kneeling down and getting slapped. You need to redeem yourself.
No,
I will gladly direct that one.
The question is to you. So, do you think that there is any legitimacy in that argument that people make, that you were not as harsh on Buhari as you were on Jonathan?
That's not true. First of all, what you say just now, that's your own content, not mine. Don't mix water with garlic. That one was your own content, not mine. So you can't say I was harsh on Jonathan because of your video, just because I directed.
So we played where you confronted him on the streets.
I know.
In New York, yeah.
Well, I've not had the opportunity to confront Buhari.
You sat down with Buhari and he told you
that was like 2 months after he became president. He has not done anything at the time. What was I supposed to bring up at the time?
No, I'm just saying.
No, 2 months after he was sworn in, what was I supposed to bring up?
But
the second time that I had the opportunity, okay, I will tell the story. The second time that I had the opportunity to interview Buhari was 2017. At that time, things had started going bad. And I had requested to interview him before coming to New York through Femi Adesina. They had agreed. We all went there together. Rudolph, no, you were inside the room. We waited almost 4 hours before them. First of all, before he even came out, the chief of staff called me to his hotel room. Remember that time? Abakiari accused me of lying, that I shouldn't. He called me into his room. He said I shouldn't even be here, and that he should just tell them to pack me out, carry me out right now, and collect my press pass, because they found out that I lied. I actually work for Sahara, and then I lied and said that I'm working for the Nation newspaper, and that I wanted to interview Buhari. And he went on and on for almost 10 minutes. Upset, just saying all kinds of trash about me. I just sat there. I was just watching this smile. I was like, my father, you don't need to trouble yourself like this. After he was done, I said, sir, you could have saved yourself time and effort if you had just asked me, did you lie about who you are? I said, yes, sir. These are the messages that I sent to Femi Adesina, that I want to interview Buhari for Sahara TV and for the Nation newspaper. And I showed him all those messages. I said, why do you think I would lie? People see my face out there, like I'm doing the show on Sahara TV at the time. I'm like, so why would I now lie about who I am? I didn't. So then the man felt small. But unfortunately, in Nigeria, elderly people don't know how to say they are sorry. So he didn't know how to say that he was sorry, he was wrong. He just said, "Oh, okay. So the error is on our part. We'll take it up with Femi Adesina. This is that." He was saying all those. I wanted to say, "Sir, this is the time that you say I'm sorry with everything that I said." I wanted to say that so bad, like, "Sir, what about I'm sorry because you are yet to say that because you accused me of all kinds of things." So, anyways, he said, "You can go. You will be part of the press conference. This is that." When I got to his door, Rudolph, there were two guys by his door. As I walked out, they were like, "Esa, are we not chasing her anymore? Are we not?" I didn't know they had given them the order. These people, they were looking for the slightest reason to prevent me from interviewing Buhari. And so they were shocked when the man was like, "No, no, no." It was, and because I looked back, I'm like, "What is happening here?" It was later that I put two and two together. He had ordered them to carry me out. And then we proceeded to wait for, I think, almost 4 hours before Buhari came out. Remember? I came all the way from New Jersey, got to the UN by 7 a.m. during the UN conference. You know how hard it is to travel when they're having the UN event. Excuse me. So that means I left my house like 4:30 in the morning. I was already upset that the man was late to his own event. You were the one that gave us time. The least you could do is respect us. Even though we are journalists, respect us, we are human beings. And when he proceeded to show up, he started reading this speech for like 15 minutes about the things he has done at the UN, which made me even more upset. So I was already boiling inside. I'm like, "We followed you all week. We knew what you did." And then at the end of his speech, Oga Femi Adesina said, "Now the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the president will leave. He will take pictures with the press and leave. The Minister of Foreign Affairs will be here at 3 p.m. Come back for questions at 3 p.m. with the Minister of Foreign Affairs." You know, Rudolph, they promised us exclusive interview. And then we got there, they said it's no longer exclusive, it would be press conference. That also, like, strike number 3, they had 3 strikes with me that day. I've had enough. And so when Bola Femi said we're taking photos, I said, "Esa, we're not taking any photos. We are here to ask the president questions. And he's supposed to answer. It's called a press conference. We're supposed to ask him questions. He's supposed to answer. The Minister of Foreign Affairs is not the president." You remember what happened that day?
Mm-hmm.
All the governors in the room and the ministers in the room, everybody were like, "Who is that?" and stuff like that. And I was shocked that the other journalists in the room were pulling me, pushing me, telling me, "Adeola, shut up." And I'm like, "Why? I came here to interview the president. I came here for press conference. It's not happening. Why am I taking photos? Take photos with somebody that I did not get to interview." And then they will now go and post that picture and say, "After meeting with the press, pictures." You know how they do it now, propaganda. I said, "No, but we are not taking any photos." So I was really shocked that my fellow journalists were pushing me, pulling me. And then you remember what happened when they were like, "Who is that?" I said, "It's me." And we are recording everything that is happening. And it doesn't look good on the president if he doesn't take questions, because we will release these videos that you are refusing to take questions. And you remember what happened that day? Please correct me if I'm wrong, like you always say, or correct me if I'm right. The Minister of Foreign, they all put heads together doing their short meeting. And then the Minister of Foreign Affairs said, "I guess the president can take some questions." I was like, "What the heck? Who is the president? Now you be president. Why are you the one saying the president can take questions?" But I didn't say that out loud. But I wanted to. So, but anyways, suddenly they said Buhari will take some questions. And they only picked you and Osasu, right? They only picked 2 people. And I was very happy because I knew I would ask my own question by fire, by force, whether they like it or not. You went, you asked your question. Osasu went, she asked a question. And then I didn't raise my hand. I said, "Mr. President, people have been lying about you." And you remember what Buhari said? He said, "What are they saying?" He didn't know he had called on my name to ask my question. I said, "They're lying, that you are not really the one in charge. That is your nephew, Mamandora, that is in charge." And he started talking about how, no, he's the one in charge. He's the one that campaigned. He's the one that did. He didn't know he had already what? Answered number 1 question. And then they finished that. They said, "No more question, no more question. Now pictures." I said, "Let everybody go. I want to take pictures with my Sahara people." Because I knew I would have the chance to be next to him to ask my second question. And I said to Sammy, "Please keep rolling the camera, whatever you do." And so after that, when everybody had taken pictures and we got next to him and we all smiled, we took pictures. I turned to him, I said, Mr. President, you promised you will bring back the Chibo girls. Exactly what is it that is delaying this? What are you doing really? And the man looked at me because I didn't ask it as a question. It was just a conversation. And he looked at me, he started talking, started explaining. And then the governor of Zamfara was like, Adeola, you this girl, your wahala is too much. And I turned to him that day, I said, Esa, the president is talking to me. You want me to ignore him? That is very disrespectful. And I turned back to the president. I said, Esa, you were saying. And Buhari looked at me, he looked at me. He didn't know what to say. And then he continued what he was saying. And I remember the governor of Zamfara, I think that was the former governor of Zamfara. The man was shocked. I don't know, maybe a woman has never talked to him or anything. But I just found it. I'm talking to the president. What is your own? Why do you need to come and be asking me, telling me my wahala is too much? Maybe we're having a conversation. Excuse me. So that was the second time that I've had the opportunity. It wasn't really an interview because they didn't grant an interview. It was a press conference. But if I had the opportunity to interview him today, I'll gladly do it. Except I know they won't want to do an interview right now. The man has really messed up. So when people say that I'm not as hard on Buhari, that's not true. My shows, the number of shows that I've done on Buhari's cluelessness and incompetence is, I can't even name them. I just did one recently about, this whole idea of giving money to Niger Republic. And because Buhari had 2 terms, and the whole 2 terms have done several videos about his incompetence and the things that he's doing and his failures. And I did a video about how, the people of Niger should please come and carry their son, because he's giving us too much trouble. We don't want him in Nigeria. Anyway, so I don't think that I was harder on Jonathan than on Buhari. I've done several episodes about Buhari, and I've not had the opportunity to ambush him on the street.
No.
Like I did with Goodluck Jonathan. It wasn't like I plan on ambushing anybody. I don't ambush people, by the way.
Okay.
But any opportunity to ask my question, I would.
Yeah. We're going to let our audience join, but I have to.
Oh, I forgot that they will join.
You are talking, but it's very good you explained this. That will be an answer I'll give to people when they bring it up for me to answer. Let me play a video because recently, a year ago, you had a baby. I don't know if everybody. I'm sure everybody.
I had a baby.
So today's my birthday, July 6th, and of course I had my baby yesterday. And I just wanted to say that, quite frankly, this is the first time I've ever been on admission at any American hospital. Even though I've lived in this country for so long, this is the first time I've ever been on admission. And I was just really challenged by everything I've seen so far. I mean, they moved us to a different room this morning. That other room was even bigger. And just look at it, all because I came to have my baby at the hospital, the kind of place I'm staying. Very, very nice.
All right. So, you've been big on hospitals and infrastructure in Nigeria.
That is all I'm asking for. Give us good hospitals, fix our roads, give us electricity. That is all. I will stop talking if they just do those things, man.
Now, So it's So you have a baby. It's Zion. She's 1 year old now, and you also have a husband that people don't know, but recently you have he's been showing up.
A husband that people don't.
Yeah, people don't know. Yeah, and recently he's been showing up, and I have this. This is something I want to get to. People don't know that you have several talents. It's not just about doing this show. You're also a bona fide musician. So recently, your husband celebrated his 40th birthday, and you released a song. This should be on the Billboard.
Stop it.
Let's see if we can find it.
Going out and about at night. Poor Zion, they did not let her sleep. And why do you look so beautiful? At night?
Because it's my birthday.
Because it's your birthday.
Yeah.
All right. I have to stop there because that swing reminded me of Apostle Suleiman.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Suleiman
I
and
was
his
going
wife.
to say that.
Anyway.
Oh, I was going to say
So
that.
that's wonderful. I think I know you have to run and go to church, so I want our viewers to have an opportunity to speak to
So
you, a little bit.
while the viewers are coming in, I guess I could be sharing
Yeah, you can share your
my
yeah
beginning.
how you started, because most people don't know this that okay. Let me know when the files are up. I will up.
Okay. I don't know if
You did it last time.
yeah, I did it last time. No, but you can be bringing people in.
Okay, all right. Oh, we have our people here. Okay, let me bring them in. Declan, welcome to the show.
Declan, oh my God.
Yeah.
What?
Femi,
Where am
welcome to the
I?
show.
Oh no.
Mama, welcome to the show.
Oh my
Hi,
God.
Doctor. Hi,
Why
Adeola.
are you doing this? Hi everyone.
We have Ola, welcome to the show.
How many people do you want to bring in at the time? Not be one by one.
Welcome
Good
to
job.
No, what will happen is this: we don't have time.
We need gender equality. Right now, you have 4 men and 1 woman. Where is the fear of God?
Paul, welcome to the show.
Wow.
Thank you.
If you want to join us, please, the studio is full. If you want to join us, turn on your camera so that we know you want to join us. Otherwise, I'll remove you for people who have their cameras on. Jude, welcome to the show. And all right, so what we're going to do, we get 3 people to ask questions, and then we go to the other 3. Adeola will respond to you guys. You have to be nice. You know, if you're not nice, I will bring color the wood. All right. So let me start with Declan. Welcome. You start.
Hi, Declan.
Adeola, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm good. So I have a couple questions.
Oh, stop.
As I was going through and seeing the video clips and then listening to you and Rudolph talk, I remember, not that it matters, but I was in the room when you interviewed Buhari for the first time. And as I think back to that moment, do you wish that you would have asked him a different question? Do you think there was a question that you would have asked him that you didn't? Right? If you can kind of look back. And then the second one is, since you've kind of gone more independent, do you think that your creativity and a lot of these sketches, right? So like we had the thing where Sammy Disu slapped Rudolph as Jonathan. Do you think that the creativity has changed, and maybe that's part of the reason kind of that the creative outlets have shifted, and that might be why people feel like you treat Buhari different than Jonathan? Because in those days, and I was there for some of them, there was a lot of banter and a lot of ideas were being exchanged, and people would just torment these people. And now that we're kind of doing these other things, maybe we don't have that interaction. So those are the 2 questions, and I'll quiet.
Very, very good questions. Let's go to Ijoma.
I can't do that. Can I just answer each question?
Okay, Ijoma, hold on. Okay, all right, go ahead, Adeola.
Declan, Buhari just became president like 2 months or so when we went to interview him. What could I have asked? Besides, what will your government do about this, about that? Because his government had yet to do anything about anything. He didn't even have ministers. You remember, it took 6 months to announce his ministers. What could I have asked him? Maybe you can help me. He just became president. He hasn't done anything for me to be able to pick on. There was nothing. He just became president at the time. Besides, what will you do about so? What could I have asked?
That's what I'm wondering. I mean, as we look at hindsight, whether there's something that you wish you would have asked that you hadn't.
And I'm answering that. Well, I don't wish there was anything I could have asked, because there was nothing he had done.
Adeola, maybe you should have said, I heard that you're from Niger. Are you
At that time, he had not announced that he's building a train to Niger. If he had announced that he was building a train to Niger, that was what the conversation would have been about at the time. The only issue that was on the table at the time was the Senate President Bukola Saraki being elected the Senate President with his, criminal records or background, and I brought that up. That was like the only thing that was on the table at the time. Now, for your second question, you said that the creativity is different. I'm trying to think. I guess it is different in the sense that it's just me now, but Rudolph has always been there. He still reads every of my script and gives me his input. At the time that I was in at Sahara, it was like I would send my script to everybody, and it was, by the way, it was only Rudolph that would get back at that time still. So it didn't matter whether or not I was at Sahara. No one was telling me what to say. So, but I think I had high hopes when Buhari became president. It was like the first time that like 300 girls were kidnapped in Nigeria, and for like 2 weeks, the government didn't do anything about it. And I think the Nigerian first lady at the time was also quite dramatic. Added spice to the drama. So, I mean, I don't think that I'm not harsh on Buhari. I think I am. Or maybe you can tell me how else I can be. I've called him clueless. I've called him all the names in the book. Because, and he's obviously, he obviously doesn't care about Nigerians. And when I had the opportunity, the one opportunity that I forced myself to have in the room to ask him a question, I basically asked him indirectly that you're not the one in charge, it's the cabal that are in charge. And he answered that question as well. And I asked him about the Chibo girls. So honestly, I feel like I'm doing my best in terms of, questioning Buhari as well. I don't know what I could have done differently, but I'm always open to advice. Maybe you can advise me, Declan. You're a good advisor, actually. You're advising people in Kenya, in Nigeria, all over the world. Maybe you can advise me on how I could do it better.
All right. Thank you. Let's go to
Declan. Invite us to Kenya. This one that you're shopping life alone in Kenya is not fair.
He invited me.
I heard you now have a private jet. We are journalists. We can just tag along in your private jets and,
all right.
Kenyan election.
Adeola, you don't have time. We have 10 people here and there are more people.
Me, I have time. You are the one that don't have time. Once my time is off, you are the one that don't have time.
Don't disappear on us. That's all I'm worried about. Ijoma, go ahead. Ernest. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, good.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Hello, Adeola, and hello, Dr. Nice to see you, Adeola. I just want to ask a question to you, Adeola.
Okay.
Being a journalist and be covering Nigerian politicians and be covering, the presidents, whatever, I'm listening to your story. Seems to me that it's very, very stressful, particularly the women, someone like you as well. And I want to ask you a question. Through your experience, what you have, been through, what will you think? What do you think would be done, or your advice to fellow women, to fellow girls coming up, to do what you're doing? Because I think you're doing a very great job. But what do you think can be done, or what do you think that can be practiced to support women in this part of your profession? And secondly, also, I saw what I think also with the questioning with comments and all these kind of attacks. And you made a very crucial point, mentioning about women, how women are being treated, and in that part of the world, women are being set back. I mean, there's no other way to say about it, right? What do you think that can be done, or what can you do? Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Jama. Adeola, go ahead.
To help women in journalism, is that what you mean, right?
Yes.
So, to be honest with you, both men and women need help in this profession. It's not a very popular profession or lucrative one. Not many people will say, oh, when I grow up, I want to be a journalist. In Nigeria, where I'm from, a lot of journalists are not doing too well financially. I'm not saying that the popular ones, but the grassroots journalists. It's really hard. I think for women, just speaking from my own experience, I think the society that we're from, they judge you based on your physical appearance before they even get to know what's in your head. Oh, it's another woman. You know how women are. They're so emotional. They talk. They can't keep quiet. That was my experience when I started. It was like, this girl, she's too loud. She's this, she's that. Things that they would never say to a man that is talking about politics. A man doing a show about politics, they will just be like, yes, this guy, he's trying to make sense. Are you guys following what this guy is talking about? He's trying to make sense, or you should be watching this show. But now it's a woman. It's like, oh, it's a woman. What do women know about politics? Oh God. Oh God. See, this is why she will not find husband the way she's talking. You are too bold. This, that. That was my experience. And I believe it's because I'm a woman. In the society that we are from, it's so unfortunate that they have a preconceived perception of what a woman is supposed to be and what she's not supposed to be. And so you constantly have to work extra hard to prove them wrong, that you're equally smart, even smarter. I think women can be smarter than men in so many ways. Amen, somebody. No offense to all the men on the table. But if you I have huge respect for someone like Maope Ogun on Channels TV. I don't know if you watch her. This woman, she knows what she's talking about. She knows her game. She's very, and you cannot tell me that, oh, because she's a woman, she's not doing a good job on her broadcast on Channels TV. That would be ridiculous because she does an excellent job, regardless of whether or not she's a woman. But this has nothing to do with journalism, by the way. It applies to all profession. Like, God has made us in His own image, men, male and female. I don't know where some Africans get this idea that when you are a woman, you are already less in value or in what you can do or in output. So I think for women, we have to always put in extra effort, go extra mile to prove ourselves. For me, because I do satire, it's hard for me to always be frank all the time because I'm trying to make people laugh at the same time. That already is hindering me because they see me as a comedian. Oh, she's just joking. She's just a comedian. But I'm trying to talk about fact. So it's hard a bit for me because I'm doing comedy and I'm talking about facts at the same time. I want them to take me seriously, but I'm also doing comedy. I'm making them laugh. So I think when women go into journalism, they just need to go extra mile to prove themselves and not let anybody hold them down. Eventually, the respect will come, the acknowledgement would come, but you can't say, "Oh, because I'm a woman, just let's give me some slack." No, 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 no. Because you're a woman is why you need to do even more. Like I feel like some people want pity or whatever that because they are women, people should just let them slide. No, it doesn't work like that. It's because you're a woman that you need to do even more. It's like being black in this country, America. Like I didn't know I was black until I came to America. But when I came to this country, when I came to college, me and my brother, we were 6 weeks late into the term and they had every reason. They believed that we would not do well that semester, and so I think that actually really fueled me to make sure I got A's in every course that semester. Make sure I got on this list because I hated the fact that because I came from Nigeria, they were looking at me like, you're 6 weeks late, you need help, and I'm like, no, I don't need help. I have brain. Whatever it is that you guys have learned, I can catch up and do even better. And I made sure I did. And till today, I have one professor that will come here and say, I've been teaching this course for 20 years. Nobody has ever presented like you did. I'm still looking for someone that will present. That's not me showing up, by the way. I'm just trying to say that you work extra. You don't say, oh, I'm 6 weeks late. That's why I didn't do well. Don't use being a woman as an excuse to slack in any way. Use being a woman as the reason to go further than you is expected of you, and then nobody will have anything to say about your work ethics.
All right, Adeola.
Okay, thank you, Abiola. Thank you, Adeola, very much. Very, very impressive. I'm very, very happy to hear all this from you. And I think those watching, you have given a lot of empowerment. And I hope and wish that maybe that you use your platform because it's very strong to push the women up. And then we will support you. We are there. And all the best and bye-bye.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. All right. So I'm thinking about how do we do this now? We have to do a lottery to decide who to
No. Go ahead. Go ahead. Let's keep taking them, Rudolph. It's
one
fine.
by one.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Just one question. Don't go beyond one so that we can get everybody. Ola, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Adeola. Hi, Dr.
Hi.
Rudolph. How you doing? My question for you, I think I asked you some years back. We're in the same room, somewhere in New York. I don't know, with Abati. They were all around for some September stuff with my uncle, who is Dimeji Abitogo. And I asked you at that time, I said, is Kole Dewo a black, white man or woman? This was the same exact smile I got. I never really got an answer.
Hey,
but
let me stop you right there. Don't vex. He's just asking a question. Who doesn't like it when people doubt? I said, let me talk to you. Okay, let me talk for you. If you don't want me to talk for you, come and show your face. See, he doesn't want to show his face. He doesn't like it when people doubt him, my brother. Don't do that. Do not doubt the authenticity of Koledowo, because next time you come on the show, he can remove your photo like that, which I don't want him to do.
Yeah, Ronaldo, you dribble too much. You dribble too much. My real question, right?
Ola, no. That's not the plan.
That's the question.
Let him ask his real question. How about Rudolph? Don't be an enemy of progress, guys.
Dr. Rudolph. Okay, anyway, it'll be quick. It's a very quick question. I've been following you for years, obviously with Dr. Rudolph as well. When you switch from Sahara as a platform to your platform, Adeola Fayehun, right? The question is this: what was your biggest fear when you were trying to make that switch? I'm asking because I'm a content creator as well, and also, what was your biggest fear, and how did that transition affect the show negatively or positively?
I guess my biggest fear was how to survive financially, even though I was not making. I wasn't. I wasn't making money where I was.
So just say making a killing.
At least we were getting by. You know what I meant? Like we were paying bills somehow. And then I wanted to go solo in New York. Declan is writing her. Declan is a witness. Anyways, but the truth of the matter is, I've been there before. I've been in worse situation. When I started freelancing in New York, because I was freelancing the whole time I was at Sahara. When I started freelancing in New York, I was making like $850 a month.
Jesus.
Living in Brooklyn, my rent was $600. Okay. And phone bill was $50. So calculate what's left to eat in 1 month. By the way, I was doing the show at that time, and people were accusing me of collecting money from politicians at that time. So it's just a matter of budgeting. Okay, so we have $200 to do it. Oh, I think it was 175. I don't remember. After you pay for AC, AC was $25. So I've been there before and I survived. You walk where you can walk to. You only take trains where you cannot walk to. That kind of a thing. But you're very passionate because you want Nigeria to change. You keep doing this thing that is not lucrative in any way at all. And it comes with all kinds of abuses. On top of you not making money, people are yabbing you left and right. And you can't find husband because you talk on. I'm sorry. I was not looking for husband. But people were always saying this is why you're not married. So anyways, I think the biggest challenge going solo was, how do we keep body together? But then I welcome challenges like that, and it really made me work even harder. And God has been so faithful. If you are a close friend of mine, you would know there's a phrase that I say a lot. Someone like Rudolph will tell you, and it is, God is faithful. I'm always saying God, because I tried to do something else, my brother, because this thing was not lucrative in any way you can think of. I tried to do something else. I tried to apply for other jobs and all that, and God will always shut those doors. It was really hard. And then on top of all this wahala, my brother, I did not have my residency. my green card to work anywhere I wanted, I only had like freelance visa, which limited me hugely, immensely. I was not illegal. Like, I don't want anybody to get misconception. And nobody is illegal, by the way, in my dictionary. I'm just saying that I wasn't breaking any law. Like, I will always go and renew my media visa every 2 years. So life was really tough. But you know what? I'm more passionate about this thing. Besides the fact that God kept closing all the doors, I'm extremely passionate about what I do because the Nigerian factor is real and it has affected me personally in ways that I can't be listing like family members that I've lost due to Nigerian factor. And I really wanted things to change right from the first time I came to this country. And so even if I had another job, I would still be doing this. I was trying to get in the US Army, That's a story for another day. I did the oath and everything. And God was like, no. And he said, this is what you are going to do. So I guess the biggest fear was like, how do we survive? But God was so faithful. When I left Sahara, the first thing we did was to go get a loan, $5,000 just to survive for the next so months while we were doing this, trying to survive. And then when God came through, he did. Like gradually, people like Rudolph Konko will look at you and smile and say, oh, let me give you this $50. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I started getting ads. On my show. And that's how I started making ends meet. So I think that was the biggest fear. Because I didn't have another job when I left Sahara. It wasn't like I had a job or I had anything lined. I just knew it was time to leave. And I had been there for 6 years. And I gave my all. Like Sowore will tell you, I gave more than was expected. Rudolph is also my witness. I did everything expected and even things that were not expected of me. I went beyond what was expected. 6 years. If I was just trying to get popularity or whatever, because some people accuse me of, oh, you went on Sahara to get popularity. There was no Sahara TV when I started working at Sahara TV, by the way. She would have called Rudolph, myself, and Tracy and said he wanted to start Sahara TV. Help me start Sahara TV. Because sometimes I would see people write comments like, oh, you use Sahara to get popular, or Sahara TV to get popular. And I was like, there was no Sahara TV. We helped build Sahara TV. So I don't know where you are getting this idea. And part of helping build Sahara TV was me doing my show. But the whole time, Sowore knew that I had my own media company. He had always known because I used to talk to him as a mentor that, I want to have my own media company. And he knew that even before he invited me to work with him at Sahara as a freelancer. So I think that was the biggest challenge. And I worked hard and God was faithful. Did I answer your question?
Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Your story is inspirational. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Rudolph.
All right, thank you.
All right.
All right, Alaro, you're next.
Hi, how you doing?
Hi.
Madam, your resume speaks for itself, and I'm sure you still have a lot to give. So I'm going to keep it short. You already started answering the question I was going to ask, but you can emphasize further, which is we can clip your career in a sense with the current political situation. Being you followed in Dr. Damage's steps, you both have something in common. You both left Sahara Reporters. So now my question is, this is under the leadership of Sowore. Now, what was wrong with the situation? What made you leave? What was wrong with the platform? Or what was wrong with the leadership? That's my question. Thank you very much. More grace to your elbows. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir. So I guess this is my nothing has to be wrong with anything or anywhere before someone would move on. So like I said, I worked with hello.
Yeah, you're here. I tricked you. It was a trick.
Okay. So like I said, I worked at Sahara TV for six good years. My father, somebody worked for you for 6 years. It's not like they just came in and left. By the way, there were people that came and spent, Rudolph, there were people that spent months. Am I lying?
No.
Declan is here. We used to all work together with Declan as well. There were people that didn't spend more than 1 year. What was the name of your former editor that time? Sheung? Tall guy? How long did he spend? My brother, people were coming in and out. People were coming. Me, Rudolph, and Declan came back. Me, Rudolph, and Fatima, and Tracy, and Declan. No, Declan left. He left us, went to Kenya. Yeah. We were there for a long time, my father. Nothing has to go wrong before we. I mean, 6 years, my father. Have I not? If I work for you, sir, for 6 years, will I not change your life and your destiny? Because I'm a very gifted somebody. Sorry that no, that didn't come out right. All I'm trying to say is nothing was wrong. Personally, I just knew it was time for me to leave. Like I told you earlier, I've always had my own media company. At that time, I had African Spotlight, and I would go about in New York City, spotlighting Africans doing amazing things. I did the first video about the owner of Buka before CNN, BBC, and others did videos about him. Like I did an extensive interview about him, a woman that has a Congolese dance studio to help heal fibroid. I did videos about him. I did a video about Sowore, by the way. That's how we met. And so I had my own media company before I started freelancing for Sowore. And if I left my own company, my own ambition to help build somebody's network for 6 years, and then I went back to my own, have I done anything wrong? My father, have the fear of God, be honest in your response to this. So there was nothing wrong when I left. It was shortly after I left that Sowore announced that he was running. So you can't say that was why I left. So I left the last day of October. And then I think by January or something, he announced that he was running. So I didn't know that he was going to run. Although Rudolph could see, so he knew that Sowore was going to run. Me, I didn't know. So, but nothing was wrong. And I'm not fighting with Sowore, by the way. I still have him on speed dial. We talk. You know, he's my boss. He will always be my boss. If you've ever been my boss, you will always be my boss. And so nothing is wrong and nothing is going to be wrong. It's like people are looking for something to be wrong. Maybe
absolutely not.
I don't know.
I commend you on moving forward.
Me, I don't have any beef with anybody, you know. So that's my father. Now that he's a politician, even he's on my plasma TV. And I told him then, I said, so now you're a politician, no, so you're now on my radar. And he's still on my radar.
Okay. I wanted to say something. You came back. Maybe there's something that triggered you to. You want to say something?
I was just going to, if depending on how much fire Adeola got, I was just going to come in to help.
Okay. All right. All right.
Declan is a troublemaker, isn't he?
All right.
He wants to feel the flame.
He came to solidarity with her.
When you left, Declan. Please, let's ask Declan. Did something go wrong? Why did you leave? Let's ask Rudolph Okonko. Why did you leave?
Adeola, I was just so tired of being poor. I couldn't afford it.
You couldn't afford what?
Everybody thinks that anybody who was with Sahara was making big bucks, right? 6-figure salaries.
Hey, you are going there.
Bribe money. In reality, the African restaurant across the street. Remember B&D? What our credit was, right? So we didn't have money to pay for lunch, and so B&D would let us. And then they like, you people need to pay. You people need to pay. You have like this huge debt, and we're like, oh no, you know, we're good for it.
All right. Let's hear the questions more. Stand by, okay? You may have to wait. Jude, go ahead.
My father, you know me, I did not complain about money, about paid, about me.
I have to get you out. Maybe we can get one person more in, okay? Go ahead. Jude, go ahead.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Adela, how are you? I've been
fine
for a long time, and happy to meet you on this platform.
Thank you.
So, I want to ask, comparing journalism here in United States and in Nigeria, it's like a huge gap. You know, it's totally different in the sense that in US, the journalism is more of, they are more independent than in Nigeria, where more, they often regard them as a brown pocket journalists. And that has also been has contributed in the rulers in Nigeria doing whatever they like because nobody calls them out. Even when they are interviewing them, they interview them, you could see a whole lot of fear in them to even ask a hardcore question and then follow-up question. They literally ask them questions and give them answers. So what do you think, what do you think would happen or would be done to make, to put kind of feistiness and boldness in the journalists in Nigeria to be able to call our leaders out, to call the Nigerian leaders out?
Sorry, Daddy, that I have to cut you off, but
Okay,
they are
yeah,
really giving
it's
me.
okay, good.
I
That's
have
enough.
like 4 more minutes, really, because we are.
Okay, all right.
I think
But at
journalists
least you
are not
understand what
well
I'm
paid.
trying to.
I think journalists are not well paid in Nigeria. Me, I don't label Nigerian journalists as brand envelope journalists. I don't, because I had the opportunity of going to Nigeria for an internship, and I cried in my spirit when I saw the condition, the circumstance under which some journalists work in Nigeria. I didn't do the internship in Lagos. I did it in my village. Well, not in my village, but Odiaga, something like that. And the state-owned TV station didn't have 1/10 of the equipment that we had at my journalism school. My school, not a real media company, but my school. There was only one desktop computer that they would turn on at 4 p.m. when the typist comes in. I didn't know how to process that in my mind. I was coming from, and I was still in graduate school at the time. I was coming from a school where they will give you a camera, you have everything, all the gadgets you need. You have your own laptop, and then you have the computers in the lab to edit and everything. And you had 2 people on standby if you have any questions. And so it was really hard for me to work under that circumstance, because I went in there with my Apple laptop ready to work, and then I got in the newsroom and I was like, is this the newsroom? It was empty. There was nothing in terms of gadgets and stuff. And so when I see the condition under which journalists work, that was when I understood why every day when we get to work that time, they will have the list of stories. You will see no electricity here, accident here, no ambulance here, this is that. And then you will see the governor's daughter getting married, the ministers this, and then you come in and people go and write their names. You know where they write their names? The governor's daughter is getting married. The things that are not like news, but they will get something at the end of it. Nobody wants to cover the fact that there has not been electricity for 4 weeks. Nobody's going to give them money. So I don't know if you can blame them when you now know the condition under which they work. And then on top of that, they don't get paid sometimes for months, and they still have to put body together. You know what I mean? So I can't blame them, but I think the only solution is for journalists to be well paid in Nigeria. I think if they are well paid and someone is offering them 20,000 naira, 50,000 naira, they'll be like, what's that? I'm here to do my story. Are you offering me a bribe? So if they're not well paid, it's hard for them to do that.
Rudolph, can I ask a follow-up question?
No. Please. Paul, next.
Okay, thank you, Adeola. Let me greet you like the way we greet from where I come from, as a worry boy. Adeola, whether you like it or not, the good Lord going to bless you.
Amen.
And your happy family.
Amen.
Then, Adeola, I want to ask a personal and a speculation question because I don't have it.
Ask.
Okay, Adeola, is your husband in the military? And I mean in the military in the US. Is he in the military? Because people said your husband is in the military. So by default, he's in the government. That's why you can afford to ask these tough questions and cost people, because you know the US government going to come for you.
I have a soldier guy is guiding me, protecting me, daytime, nighttime, part-time, and overtime. His number one primary assignment is not even to protect America, it's to protect this woman. So yes,
he's in the US Army.
He's a soldier man.
Okay. Yeah. I hear it on speculation.
He's also an architect.
Okay, I hear it on speculation. So I just want to get the fact right.
I mean, he's been in. There was one of my videos, the birth video. You could see him in the military uniform. So yeah.
Oh, we all buy those uniforms at the store. I have one. Well, I'm not.
The rank and everything from the store.
No, from far you can do stuff like that. Like I almost got something like that because my daughter is in the
Your
ROTC,
name.
and
You
people also think that I'm
can't
also in
fake
the
his name
military.
now. No. He can't fake.
That's true.
His name is written, his rank, everything is on there. So yeah.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Femi, you're next.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, Dr. Damages. Auntie Adeola, by the way, I'm watching you on LED screen, just as you also just
You know, why can't I share screen anymore? I wanted to be showing them my teleprompter and all that as we're talking. It's like you're blocking me. Please go, my brother.
No, I think we have maximum number of people. There's spots for one, so you can share on that one. I think you can.
Okay, please go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, by the way, shout out to the Nigerian ladies that just won the 4x100 meters. I mean, it's amazing what the ladies are doing. I'm an advocate of female equality and all of that. I mean, not the way some people make it look, though. Anyways, so my question to you is this, and you've spoken on this briefly previously. My issue is I continue to think that just as we have a leadership problem in Nigeria, where the followership is just as much culpable, and that follows for a lot of African countries as well. Now, with respect to the female, our female women, granted that majority of the population is tilted towards the female folks, but it still amazes me that as much as I would personally also like to see a lot of women involvement in all spheres of Nigerian life, it amazes me how women still seem to kowtow to the male folks. What's your opinion about this, and what do you think could be done to remedy the fact that it looks as if sometimes even women are their own worst enemies?
The men are the ones that need to do this job. If the men are rooting for women, the women tend to follow suit. But the women have been conditioned to believe they are supposed to be at the back, and that is what is noble, which is why you see a lot of women, a lot of elderly mothers actually say things like, you're supposed to be in the kitchen, cook for your husband, and this and that. And so, but if the men come out and say, no, she has brain, she can make something of herself, let's see what she can do, let's see what value she can bring. Most women don't go against what the man of the house is saying. It's the men that need to be more assertive and to help to decondition this mindset that a lot of women have. I've said it several times that I'm only who I am, mostly because of my father. My mom is very traditional. I remember when I finished my first degree, and I was telling my dad, I've applied for my master's program. I'm gonna go to New York. My mom was like, she has to come home and get married. I've not even introduced any boyfriend to my mother, but she's talking about come back to Nigeria, come and get married. She wants to make sure that I didn't overstudy, as they say it in Yoruba language. And nobody wants to marry her. She has overstudied. And my dad was like, in the same conversation, go get your master's. When you finish, get your PhD, and then we can talk about marriage. So when my father is saying that my mother cannot, she couldn't fight much, which is why I think it's the men that need to do the work.
All right, thanks. I'll take
All right, thank you.
Real quick.
Ikola. Yeah, you're next.
Oh, we are so late for church.
Hello, Adeola. Nice seeing you, and it's wonderful speaking to you. First, I will have to say thank you for everything you guys do. You, Rudolph, Declan, whatever you have done, however you have done it, I say a big thank you to you. But this is my question. The first question Declan asked you was, why didn't you ask Buhari some tough questions before he got his time in the presidency or went into his presidency? I can answer that question myself, because what I have noticed with our journalism is we lack investigative journalism. Because in 2009, that was when I knew more about Buhari, when he ran for his first election and he lost. And then I decided, okay, let me really know about this guy. That was when I knew in 2009 about his exploits in PTF as the chairman of PTF, how much he stole, how he was corrupt, how they brought in expired drugs for Nigerians. And then that was when I actually realized that most of the rules he gave when he was the president in 1983 weren't structural. They were just, oh, this is a problem. Let's quickly fix it. Let's quickly bring out a law. So the problem is our journalism is not investigative. And during my reading, I actually found out that, okay, we are thanking him for the new electoral act, which is going to come in, which most Nigerians now believe is going to give them a free and fair election. But no, it has nothing to do with our legislators. In 2016.
Okay, can you
So
please?
I'm really late for church.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wish I knew your address the day we were going to interview Buhari. Like, you could have asked him questions about all these things. He just became president. My job was to talk to him about, now that he's president, and I did. Like I said, there was nothing I could throw at him at that time about him winning election that time, and he just became president. But you obviously do, and I swear I wish I knew your address. Do you live near the UN for next time? Because I could just call you and say, Kolala, my brother, this is your chance. Let's go and talk about this.
Adeola.
Sorry, I'm really late for church. I need to go.
Okay.
Then please, if you guys can just 30 seconds, the remaining two people.
Okay. All right. So 30 seconds. Just a question. 30 seconds.
No, like so, Mr. Ikolala. I just wish you were there.
Yeah. No. Okay. I don't want to waste more time. Forefathers, you're next.
Yeah, thank you for coming in, and I truly appreciate the work that you have done in Nigeria. I've seen some of the videos of the work you actually did on the ground, and I've not even seen a lot of your videos, but I've seen the ones you've done, and it appears to be a lot. So I truly thank you for that. My concern with our influencers, journalists, and reporters, politicians, and elites is that we seem not to be educating our people properly. I saw your video today that you posted a Nigerian jubilating that they are in Canada, and there is a pattern. Our elites, what we do, we promote other people's countries. We literally leave the impression to our fellow countrymen to leave our country and go somewhere else. Clearly, that is, for me, I find that problematic. And because you have been in the West and your partner is in the military, that may also alter your judgment. Because the way I look at it is that we are supposed to be working together to fix our country, not to be promoting our people to go overseas and sort other things out. I know you are very, very influential. You have a lot of followers. I would like to tell our leaders
to go overseas.
Okay.
That see, I'm giving you the impression I get from seeing your videos.
Oh, so the
they will have a time
watching my video is not that I'm trying to help fix Nigeria, but I want people to move over.
I'm not saying you are doing it deliberately. Our leaders are doing the same
I just
thing.
wanted to know that's the impression.
Yes, that's the impression I get. Yes, and anybody that sees that video, they will see that. Oh, look at how they are enjoying themselves there. They even have a term for it, Jackpa, how to leave the country. That is what everybody is doing, because everybody that goes overseas, they show it to them.
Contest, in case there's anybody here that didn't see the video that you're talking about, I just spent about 20 minutes talking about how we can get rid of corruption in Nigeria and how it's affecting us, preventing us from being all that we can be, and how it's so sad that when people travel out of Nigeria now, they are excited to travel out of Nigeria. And I played a video showing an example of someone that left and how excited he was. And I said, it's really sad because in some places, when someone leaves their country, they look forward to going back to the food, to the culture, to the people. But in our case now, when people leave, they are excited. But the truth of the matter is abroad is not heaven. I'm sure you all heard about the Italian man that was killed. I'm basically saying the same things I said in that video. But now you are painting it as if I showed the video of a man that went to Canada. I'm not attacking you, my brother. I'm just saying.
No. I understand what you're saying.
God now. Me, I'm trying.
But when you say corruption, this is, see, you are not understanding what I'm saying.
I spent about 20 minutes talking about how corruption is affecting us.
Let me explain what I'm
I
saying.
spent the first 7 minutes. I spent the first 7 minutes of the same video you're talking about celebrating.
Corruption is not at the heart of our problem.
Forefathers, sorry, this is not.
Let me answer this. I spent the
It's
first
okay.
7 minutes celebrating Nigerians that are making us proud in the international level, Commonwealth game, winning gold left and right, becoming the first Black person to become the president of the Royal Academy of British Architects. I spent the first 7 minutes celebrating.
That too is a problem.
How is
You
it
see,
a
that's the
problem
thing.
that
You don't understand.
man is the first Black and the first young person?
Maybe you should do it in Nigeria, not to be doing it in foreign countries, not to be. We are basically selling our people overseas, not to be doing it overseas. Maybe you should be doing it in Nigeria.
So you want me to say, okay, you are supposed to go home, my brother, to do
fix your country. That is what we need to be doing. We can't be talking about our people going. I made the same mistake. I'm telling you that I made the same mistake. I'm open enough to admit it. From the UK.
Why are you in the UK when you
because I made the same mistakes.
Okay.
It's not too late. The airport, Heathrow Airport is not far from you.
And your prescription was also wrong.
My brother, and go to Nigeria and fix all these things you are doing.
You say corruption is our problem. The Pentagon had more than $30 trillion worth of a black hole in the Pentagon, and the UK, there's a lot of corruption too in the UK. We keep prescribing the wrong things. Our nation has never been sovereign. That is at the heart of it.
My brother, YouTube is a free. Anybody can get on YouTube where you can talk about all these things, all the problems happening in the UK. I'm not trying to fix the UK. I'm trying to fix Nigeria. If we don't talk about the problem and solution, we cannot fix anything. I talk about the problem and then I talk about the solution. You are in the UK. First of all, I think
the solution is wrong. Don't you understand that our nation has never been sovereign?
And then talk about all the problems in the UK so that people will know the UK is not better. It's a free word. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to clap back, but he's making it look like I'm painting Nigeria bad. My brother, I don't say half of what is happening in Nigeria. And I have family members in Nigeria. Forget about everything I say on the show. Every day I get a call from Nigeria, I'm scared. Because I know what it's like to get a call that so person passed away, so person was in an accident. The way I found out that my father died, it wasn't even phone call. It was email from somebody sending their condolence because nobody was bold enough to tell me that my father had died. How do you think I feel? Like, I'm not trying to paint Nigeria bad. Nigeria is bad, and it has never been this bad. But guess what? Nigeria can be better. In this same video that you talked about, I read a comment of someone saying that we can never get rid of corruption. And what did I say? I said, I don't believe that. There were countries that had it worse than we did, and they were able to fix it. Nigeria can be better. Nigeria can
and
be
many of them recommended that we should kill a lot of people. Those are omens that you are not paying attention to. Many of them recommend that we should kill a lot of people in that country. One of them was even talking about remaining 10 million.
I said we cannot.
But what you are not seeing there is the dangers.
I don't think I'm your problem, sir. I think maybe the people that commented are the ones pissing you off. I think me, I'm your girl. Deep down, you love me. You can do without me. You appreciate me. I think maybe some of the people that commented are the ones giving you headache, and you don't know how to reach them. You thought because to be honest with you, you are not being fair. In terms of that video, I did justice. I celebrated Nigerians making us proud. And then I talked about corruption. I talked about all the ways, suggestions that people gave on her, because we need to fix it if we will fix the country. And I talked about someone going abroad celebrating and why that is sad. I talked about why that is sad, my brother. And here you are saying that I'm painting it as if other countries are better than Nigeria. Sure, my brother, why are you in the UK? If other countries are not better than Nigeria, you can always start by
I made the same mistake. That's why I'm saying we shouldn't be promoting the West to them.
It's a correctable mistake. You can always buy a plane ticket to go back.
I'm working in Nigeria right now, like you did too. I'm learning from some of the things. I'm engaged in Nigeria every single day. I know how much is fuel in Abuja there.
Okay, so, thank you. No, hold on. What you and Nwankwo has to. I mean, he's been here quietly and
of course.
Please make
Thank
it.
you, doctor, for the prescription. Adeola, you are doing a good job. Congratulations on the new addition to your family. I want to know who converted you from lesbianism to straight. That was the rumor going on that you were lesbian. But to be more serious, you did a show on Desiani Madueke and the alleged theft of oil money. I do not support theft at any levels, but I think you should also do a show on the oil thieves. People who are sleeping in their bedrooms, they get a phone call, go out in the Gulf, and that oil is yours. They are far removed from the oil, some of them 1,000 kilometers from the source of the oil. And they are drilling the oil and they don't know what to do with the money. At least the Ziani can see the oil is in her background. And one more, the guy who was commenting on you encouraging people to leave Nigeria, you're wrong. Some of the comedy shows are satirical. That video reflects the state of affairs in Nigeria. If we're doing well, he wouldn't be there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. She has to go. Dominic, just 1 minute, 1 second, 30 seconds, please.
Yeah, well, it's an honor to finally meet Adeola in person. I've been watching your show for many, many years, and it's been very informative. As someone who's been in the US for many, many years, I get nostalgic, and I always want to find out about what is going on back home. I don't think you need to defend yourself about anything. You're doing a show, you're expressing opinions, you're analyzing things, you're doing your own investigative journalism. There's always, for every information that you give, there's always going to be people who think negative of it and people who think positive of it. Just do what you're doing. Know that there are people behind you and people who support you in whatever you do. My congrats on having a new baby. Now, second thing is, if you know of others.
No, Dominic, we don't have second thing. Adeola, you have a second? I don't think so. Do you?
He didn't ask any question.
Oh,
okay.
I don't want to ask a question. Let me give you an example. My father was sent by the Nigerian government to study in Britain. Finished as a physician, the Nigerian government called him back. He came back to Anambra State and was in charge of a government hospital because they didn't have someone to run it. That is an example of someone who went abroad, was able to come back and make something of himself, right? So there are a lot of people who are leaving the country to get experience because they want to change Nigeria. So you don't have
Let
any
me just
right
say real
to be able
quick
to
that,
dictate.
first of all, thank you for the compliment. I really appreciate it. I actually intended on going back to Nigeria when I came to this country. When I was doing my master's, I went to Nigeria. I wanted to get a license to broadcast in Nigeria. My father had already helped me get land to build my company. And I went to the Broadcasting Corporation to ask about getting a license. This was 2008. And they told me every reason why it would not be possible. They told me I needed to pay 11 million for application, this million for... They were just calling all these names. First of all, they looked at me, they laughed. They didn't take me seriously. They were like, did you miss road? You know, I was very skinny at the time. And then I was a girl and I went by myself. I didn't went with any father. You know what I mean? And they told me, above all, he has to go to the table of the president, which will take 3 to 5 years. So forget it. So I came back to the US and I realized, I could just do this on YouTube. I don't need their license to do what I do. And I'm able to do what I do today. I don't have to deal with electricity and stuff like that. I'm able to do more living outside of Nigeria than if I was living in Nigeria. So it wasn't like I didn't have the intention of going back home. I did. I went back and I wanted to get a license to broadcast, and they basically told me it's not going to be possible. But thank you for the compliment. I think it's just one more person, right, Rudolph?
Yeah, one more person.
Extremely late.
Alfred and Neka, just together.
No. I'm sorry, Auntie Neka. It's just Mr. Alfred.
Oh, Alfred. Okay. Alfred.
Yeah, thank you so much, Madam Adeola and Rudolph. I really appreciate you for all you have been doing, but I just want to, it's not like a question. I wouldn't know if it's possible for you people to focus on ASU strike. I mean, one of your videos.
So I'm sorry, I have to go. I actually did. I still did ASU in the last video that I uploaded, and I will continue to. Thank you. I'm sorry to cut you off. Thank you so much for having me, Rudolph. We agreed on 1.5 hours. I've done more than 2 hours. I am late for church. My daughter is late for children's church. Thank you, everybody that asked questions. Thank you, my forefathers, because today I met somebody that is really excited about me. His name is Forefather. So I know I love you too, by the way. I know you love me. Thank you for all the questions, for the opportunity to share. I was hoping that I would share with you guys when I started. And I think I didn't share the pictures with Rudolph. Maybe I should have. But I had it on my computer. I was going to share how I will use a shoebox as my teleprompter, how I will use rubber band to hold my camera, stuff like that, how I will push the couch in my living room to set up my green background to shoot, just to show you guys where we've, how far we've come. And to thank Rudolph for always being there the entire time, reading my script and all. Thank you for having me on your show, Rudolph. I am honored, I'm humbled, I'm grateful.
Why don't you do an episode on that and you watch it on your
I know,
show?
right? I should
Yes,
do an
you should.
episode on how
Absolutely.
I started and stuff, and how I would move the couch around. And I'll be shooting at 2 a.m. And I'm wondering if my neighbors, because we're in an apartment, wondering if my neighbors will call the management on my head, because this, I'm screaming when I'm shooting and it's in the middle of the night, but we have to get it right. And we do it, and there's no audio, and then we have to start all over. Do you remember? Okay, Rudolph, I think I probably told you one time when I shot at Sahara and there was no audio and I didn't know. And then I went back like 2 a.m. to reshoot in the city. Remember that time? Do you remember the day I passed out at Sahara? And my show still came out that week. Dang, I passed out. I was taking my ambulance to the ER. They were giving me drips, 3 up like 21 times. I don't know if you remember that day. And my show was still not late because, we do what we can for our love for Niger. All right. I just all that to say it's been real, and I'm keeping it right up in here. Until next time, I'm gonna see you all later.
All right, thank you. We will have to get you next
Bye,
time
Declan.
and have longer hours. Thank you so much for watching, all the people that watched us today, and it's been wonderful having Adeola on the show. I hope you stay with us. Next week we are going to have another important guest. On behalf of everybody behind the scene, I want to thank all the people that joined us. Nick, I'm so sorry we couldn't get a chance to answer.
I'm fine.
Next week we are going to try to keep her for a longer time.
Rudolph, tell them to go and watch that conference we did yesterday.
Yes. So we had a conference that was very important. A lot of things came out of it on COVID and how Nigeria handled the COVID pandemic. So please, if you have the chance, go on YouTube, my YouTube channel. You can watch it. There are a lot of things to learn about what we did and what we didn't do right and what might happen next. So I thank everybody for watching. I know that some of you might want to have a conversation the way we normally do. But if you want to stand by, I want to play our closing music and then we will have a conversation. I could see the Kwankwaso people coming up just in 1 minute. We will get to that. Okay, hold on. It's too late to have technical problems here. Okay. All right. All right, sorry. Okay, so I didn't go offline, so we're still online. Let me just give another 30 minutes for those who might be interested in having a small conversation on any subject you choose.
I just wanted to respond to Forefathers and his philosophical rigidness when it comes to people traveling abroad. Quite honestly, anyone can go anywhere so far as is to develop themselves. At the end of the day, what's important is having a fruitful life, a life that is useful for yourself and your family. I don't think anyone has any right to tell anyone where to go and where not to go. At the end of the day, our hope is that Nigeria becomes better so that it becomes more attractive for people to come back. there are people who are very nostalgic at heart. Many of us who are here, I'm sure you are aware, many of us who are here, I'm pretty sure do not want to stay in this country forever, in the US, the UK. But it's because of how Nigeria is. That's why we're here. And guess what? A lot of the money that's being remitted back home in Nigeria would not be remitted back. Nigeria probably would have been a failed state, a banana republic, if we weren't sending billions of naira or dollars or millions of naira or dollars from the US or the UK and other countries. So it doesn't make sense when someone is antagonistic to people traveling abroad, right? If I was not in the US, I probably would not be a doctor as I am today, right? So for someone to be making comments like that, it just flies in the face of, I don't want to say common sense. I don't know how to put it, but
all right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dominic. Let me give Nick an opportunity to say something because she didn't get a chance.
Rudolph, don't feel bad. I wasn't going to. All I wanted to say was actually to ask Mr. Chudio Nwankwo that his comment, was it really necessary? It's not like I'm going either way. I don't know anything. But in such a platform, was that comment really necessary? From what he just said, he said that that's what he was hearing. So if that's what you were hearing, did you research on it? And again, it wasn't necessary to come up here. I don't understand. Sometimes we claim that we are in the Western world, that we've all been to school, but when we behave, we still behave like animals. I don't think that comment was necessary. And I'm really glad that she took it well. But as a human being, it has to hurt. And I'm not saying whether it's true or not, but I really don't think this is. I hope that you will sleep over what you did that point.
Okay, let me respond. I think you've spoken enough.
No.
Can I respond?
Let me finish.
No.
Yeah, you've spoken enough. You don't have anything more.
You must allow me to finish. So I just want you to sleep over it and then ask yourself, was it really necessary? That's all I wanted to say. I didn't want to ask her any question because she answered all my questions.
All right.
Okay.
No,
Can I respond?
No, not yet. I will call you when I feel you are calm enough. Ezobodo, please. You have anything to say? Ezobodo, you are just relaxing. You're on national TV. No, this is not on national TV. You're on international TV. Are you lying down?
Well, he doesn't have anything to say by the looks of him. Why are we wasting time on him?
Why did he join? That's
exactly.
All right. Okay, Chukwu, okay. You can respond now.
Okay. Adeola is a comedian. I'm a comedian and writer. Okay. I guess she would have slapped me if it was somewhere like Westmead did. That wasn't supposed to be something that would make you all riled up and calling me an animal. That's what you just did. That's even worse than what I said to Adeola. So you should be careful how you talk also. That was just meant as a joke, and I said it was a joke. I'm happy that she has a family. I have grandchildren, so I know what it means to have family.
All right.
That's all I want to say.
Okay. Also, what I think is that this is a proof that comedy is hard. Because it wasn't funny. It's hard. People don't know. All right. Ijoma, you have anything to say about anything? Unmute yourself, Ijoma.
Okay. All right. What I want to say is that I've been following your platform, Dr. Damages, and I think I've watched so many shows and been on the platform as well to contribute, just like any other person. And what you are doing is a very great thing, and it's called "Have Your Say," what you say, and 90-minute Africa. Perfect, well, and it's something you're giving us. Those who have interest, a platform to contribute to the affairs or to contribute or to bring our own enlightenments or ideas or something like that. But what I have discovered is quite abusive. People are attacking people in a very, 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 very I don't know how to describe it. This shouldn't be this way. And Dr. Damage is probably, I'm just a suggestion person, probably when you start your show, probably to make it clear that attacking people because they are hiding on cameras or on the net or something like that, that is not acceptable because it is rude. It is rude. And some comments are very, very, very harsh. I mean, if what she said before, like if anyone is gonna meet me now where I'm sitting now in my garden, it's not gonna talk to me in that way or whatever it is. So we have to respect each other. In as far as Dr. Damages has given us this publicity, this platform to express our views or to contribute, it's not a question to attack people in that form. I mean, I have noticed that quite a lot, and it's not good. I mean, or people will say your accent is this, or you speak this way. But what I had today is quite very, very, very sad. That's all I want to say. And Dr. Damages, it is your show, and I respect you quite a lot. You know that very well. But I think you have to make it clear to these people it doesn't work this way. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Joma. Yeah, Dr. Yakubu, welcome.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Damages. I've been watching your show and I'm so delighted to be here. We cannot pay you enough for what you're doing. But I just want to beg that you should research something that I think is evolving and very damaging. Our religious leaders are about to destroy Nigeria. In fact, they're going to make Nigeria worse than it is now. If you look at, I've been to countries that we look up to as a religious nerve center. I've been to Israel, to Saudi Arabia. They are just mere nerve centers. They are so advanced, at least in the aspect of taking care of their people. Religion is secondary for them. But Nigerian religious leaders want to take control of our brains. And you guys need to come in to rescue this situation. Our youth need to be able to think freely and understand what is going on. Our youth need to understand that the situation on ground is an interaction between the cabals or the oligarchs and international community. All they are out is what they get, preservation of their empire. So please research on this emerging situation. 2023 election is coming, but already it is going to be along religious and ethnic lines rather than people sitting down and asking critical questions that will either make us or destroy everybody. Because once the bullet is fired, the bullet does not recognize a Christian, a Muslim, a pagan. And we already have practitioners of violence who are waiting on the edge to supply more of these weapons. So, Rudolph, in a very good way, what you are doing, please research into this. We need to educate our youth. If I have my way, I can ban the two religions. Let people start thinking with their brain. There is no, I have not seen in NASA or in Russian space station or the Chinese space station where religion took them to the moon. Already they are fighting to get to Mars. We are struggling to find wheat to make bread. And the next thing you hear is religious people want to hijack the whole process. That's what is going to happen if we are not careful. But I want to thank you so much for the wonderful work you're doing. Continue doing this. Let's try to find a way to interpret this because it's just in English. There are a lot of people we cannot reach, particularly those on the ground, because the whole action, the electioneering, I told people, look, voting for presidency will not help Nigeria. The action is at the local government level and at the state level. No matter who becomes the president, if you have criminals at the local government and state, you are wasting your time. You will get to Asurok and get confused. Because already in the National Assembly, at the state, you have criminals. So our youth need to understand what is simple governance. In US, Biden can make a pronouncement. At the state level, nobody listens. So if a state decides to develop and empower its people, to hell with the center. That is how where we should go to. So, Mr. Rufo, please use your platform, and any other person that has such platform should put it up and let us rescue our youth first. Because at the end of the day, it is the youth that will be most affected at the women. Thank you so much.
Thank you. A caller, I'll get you, but let me get Adeola to say something before. Okay, Adeola, go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Damages. I was in the comment section. I was following those people that have spoken when Adeola was in the studio. I don't want to sound rude, but I think this Mr. Shukwudi is kind of like a coward. There's some question you don't ask people. It's personal, even if she's a lesbian. And I also read in the comments, someone was saying that she's getting fat. I mean, except they don't have mother in the house. Those things kind of infuriated me when I was watching the show. I think there's a way, Dr. Damage, of course, I can't tell you how to run your show, but, you can take some people out if they are going to be that rude, when it comes to comments or, making a comment when the show was live. That's what I'll say for now.
All right, thank you. Let me just address that a little bit because I've seen so many comments. This is my policy. One is that you expect that people will behave well, act well, think about what they are going to say before they say it. You expect that people know this is an international platform and whatever you say is permanent record. I can't delete it. People have called me after appearing on, say, can you delete this for me? I said, I can't. It's in several places. There are places I can't even reach, even if I want to do it for you. I can't. Just the way you watch Big Brother Niger, this is what we're doing here. This is a reality TV show. You make impression on people who know you will see what you say. And I prefer that peers, people who are here, will be the one that will address whatever people say, rather than me removing people. And I wish we have what they do on radio, where when you call a radio show, they ask you, what are you going to say before they let you come on. We don't have control. I don't know what you are going to say. I don't know some people who join. I just say, you talk. You hope that people will. But I think the best way to correct people is that other people who are watching will be the ones that will tell them. I can shut somebody down. That doesn't mean he won't go somewhere else to make a comment. There are people on the comment section who say things that are outrageous. Some of them, I wonder, some of them come here and criticize all of us and say we are stupid. We are talking about one Nigeria when Nigeria is dead. And they keep talking about it every day. And they are watching. I said, don't you have a better thing to do? If I know that people are talking about something I don't care about, I wouldn't go every day to make comments there. Why? So sometimes it's better that, I don't want to, I prefer people have a say. And that's what I always believe in. Let the world judge you. But I hope people know that whatever you are saying here, this is your record. This is what eventually some people who are familiar, who are coming here every day, every week, they have told me that when they go out there, people now identify them, and they identify you and they see you based on what you are saying. They don't see you, they don't know the real you, they don't know what else you are. So it's very important that if we talk on a public forum like this, and you should, and you have to know that people are human beings, whether it's Adeola or anybody else you see out there, they are people, they are impacted by what you say. We only hope that, things will get better. Who wants to say something? Okay, Declan, go ahead.
So I just want to, Rudolph, I agree, right? So you could have removed Chukwudi, and then he wouldn't have been lambasted by Nika, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we saw exactly what he was about when he says you've said enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's all on display, right? And it's important for peers, and just as you said, to be the ones to speak up rather than you moderate people's voice. People need to have that dialogue, from my opinion. And I know that's how you think, because we've talked about these kinds of things in the past. So I think keeping him in, allowing him to be shamed, and then seeing how he actually behaves, I think that was the right thing personally. But I understand why, if people don't think of it that way, and I understand why they would be upset with you in terms of that. But I think that you need to have outlets so that people can dispute and say this is inappropriate. So I agree.
Okay, thank you. And also, I'll get to you. Let me add that sometimes I count on people here to address some of those things, because I know that we all are different. People have different sense of things, and I count on you. And I believe that marketplace of idea will always result in the most elegant idea being on top. Okay, the color.
CM hasn't talked yet, and he's been up here for a bit.
I know. I'll get to him.
Thank you for giving me another chance.
Don't I have a right of response? This guy addressed it.
I didn't know that you were okay. I'll get to you, Papa. Go ahead.
Okay. Thanks for giving me another chance. My question wasn't for Adeola per se. Like I said, it was it is a question I have an answer to. But Declan first asked that question. So and you, Rudolph, you are a journalist as well. So I would like you to somehow elaborate on this fact that we don't really do investigative journalism because, and it is not us alone, because I remember subscribing to WSJ and I said to them, I said, the problem I have with WSJ is that they don't do analysis as Financial Times does analysis. Financial Times spends about 3 pages trying to analyze news, not just giving you the news. They tell you the start and the present of the news. So you make your own mind up. So we don't do that. And the man that has come up with that now, who is doing well at it, which he just tells you the story. So you make up your own mind with the story. Is this guy now David Hudeni? And I now realize that he's been there all the while. But I mean, he's becoming popular because he's bringing some things to the fore. So please, if you could let me know why. And like I said, it's not an African thing. It's some papers don't do it. Some people don't do it. So like the New York Times doesn't really do it like the Financial Times does it. So if you two can elaborate on that, is it that it is difficult or because it is not a paying area or because it is, I don't know.
All right, thank you. I will get to Declan too because he did an investigative reporting for Sahara to talk about that a little bit. And also I can chip in. But let me hear from Fofadas. You wanted to respond to something. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think let me just try to explain the point I was making to Adeola, and obviously Dominic is always there to defend. The point I was trying to make was that if we keep sending our people abroad and not have any way of getting some benefit back from them, being abroad, other than just sending money to Nigeria. We've been doing it for decades. It never did us any good. And for me, when I look at it through time, I don't see much that has changed from when we used to sell, when we used to sell our people overseas, and now we are actually giving them propaganda to be going overseas by themselves and serving other people's countries. Clearly, that lady's, this Adeola's husband is actually serving another country, a country that other people built. We have to figure out a way to start returning some of all that work, all that stuff back. Because for me, I believe that everything is a double-edged sword. If our people go there, they need people like Adeola that have such a big platform. I'm even surprised that they cannot come up with an idea that says, you know what, when you're going abroad, we can even fund you to go abroad, but you have to transfer knowledge, you have to transfer expertise back to the ground, you have to train people on the ground to so that they can profit from what you are doing, and ultimately you also plan to return back. This is kind of stuff that the Chinese do. We always, like the Minister of Diaspora in our country, what that woman seems to do, for me anyway, when I look at her, I just look at her like a slave trader. Like, she just promotes all our Nigerians doing well overseas. It's like, what is the good of that to Nigeria? It has no good for Nigeria when you're not encouraging them to return back. You don't have any program for them to return back. And when they talk about recruiting foreign doctors overseas, guess what? Our government didn't even say, let's recruit those our Nigerian doctors that are overseas. They wanted to bring Europeans. Something is wrong with the way we think when we don't understand that we have to build our own country. Every single time I made that mistake myself. I'm not going to blame anybody that wants to leave Nigeria. What we need to be putting in place is how to transfer whatever we are losing so that it comes back. These people are educated in Nigeria, they leave the country and go and serve for some other country and just send us trinkets. This is the same thing. That's why I say people don't watch history. If you watch history, you will know that nothing has changed.
All right.
It's the same pattern repeating itself over and over again.
Thank you, forefathers. I don't know who wants to take.
I want to say something, Doctor.
Who wants to speak?
It's Chukwudi Nwankwo.
Okay.
You know, maybe I did a wrong joke, but people have called me gay, and I handled it. You can call me anything, I will handle it. Okay? I understand the sensitivity with the LGBTQ, and I support that movement. Okay, that was just a joke. If you want to turn into something else, it's like gay pastors who want to lynch gay people, but inwardly they are gay. I don't know if that's what this is turning to. One other point I want to make is people are talking about Nigeria. You need to have a country before you start fixing it. Okay, we do not have a country. Someone said something about states going their own way. You cannot do it. You have what you call concurrent and exclusive aspects of our constitution, which means that a state cannot decide to build a seaport. A state cannot generate electricity and it goes to the national grid. So there are so many things. You know, sometimes we start building from the roof downwards instead of building from the ground upwards. So if you understand the system, then we wouldn't be saying all this. Let's put it right. We don't even have people will mention Singapore. Have you read the Singaporean constitution? No. So before we say these things, let us start from the fundamentals.
All right.
I'll take a break.
All right, Chukwudi, thank you. Just to let me address a few things. I shouldn't be. This is just a different kind of show. I should just let you talk. But in case of Chukwudi, you know, when you said maybe you made a wrong joke or something like that, I think if I were you, that would be a point where I would say, you know, I'm sorry about that. That is not, because if you think it's not right, if you think it didn't work, you know, that's the time. You don't wait for another time. Forefathers, there's something that Adeola said to you that I don't think you understood or you picked. She said, you know, if you feel that way, that people should be encouraged to go back to Nigeria, you can start a channel, a YouTube channel. It doesn't take a lot, where you encourage people to go back to Nigeria. Nobody will do everything you want them to do. And I've done this for so long, and people tend to think that Adeola will be the one that will fight for this because I'm interested in this. We do this for me because I'm interested. She can't do everything for everybody. I can't do everything for everybody. There's something you can do. Anybody can do anything. If you're passionate about something, you do it. You start doing it. You can learn to do it. I studied engineering. I didn't study journalism. You can learn to do whatever you feel passionate about. But we tend to think that one person will do everything for us and we have to force them to do it. Sometimes people will write you and say, oh, why are you not talking about? They don't even understand the process. Why are you not talking about this? Because it's their issue. So if something is happening in your village, it should be on the front page. You know, you laugh over that, but it's not. It's not the way. It can't work that way. You know?
So sorry. What frustrates me is that sometimes some of all these people are provided the information, they carry on with the same falsehood. Like Jide is an example. He was using comparing Nigeria to Sri Lanka. What they did in Sri Lanka, but what he failed to tell the people was that Sri Lanka has 400,000 soldiers. And if you want to translate that to Nigeria, Nigeria will have 4 million soldiers. But when I informed him of that, he still carried on saying the same things and still saying that we should invite foreign troops to Nigeria. That is what frustrates me with our intelligentsia or the people that talk in the media. It's almost like willful blindness. I don't understand it. How can you see clear information with an example you are using? Somebody tells you that this number you are talking about, Sri Lanka, should mean that Nigeria should have 4 million soldiers. But this man will never call for that. Instead, he's willing to call foreigners to come into the country. This is why I say that our Nigerians, we really need to be holding our elites accountable, because some of the things they are encouraging us to believe, they condition us to believe that corruption is the only thing. And Adeola did the same thing again today. When Pentagon has $30 trillion of black hole in their budget this year, Some of the things we do, we don't understand that we are the one perpetuating the same level, the cycle of failure over and again. And every time I look at it, there is a young man I gave the same idea. He went away. Within a month, he came back to me. He even made a better idea than I even got. Why is it that these people that are supposed to know more about the world refuse to change? Is it because they are in the West and they are enjoying the perks of the West? They don't want to criticize the West. Some of the things I'm saying today, most Westerners may not like it, but we have to be self-determining. We can't just keep relying on others. That's all I'm saying. We have to, whatever we do, we need to see. Do you know that Nigeria, our presidents, I didn't even know that till just last week, that we've elected more minority presidents in Nigeria than anybody from the Wazobia group. Most people don't know that. Most people think that Muslims have run the country most of the time. No, it's about 50-50. You see what I mean? So, but we have this blindness that our media give us the impression that it's all about the Muslim and all about the Christian, all about the majority, all about the minority. It's crazy that Nigeria has elected more minority leaders than anybody from the Wazobia groups. Unbelievable. I couldn't believe that.
All right, thank you. I'll go to CM. Then I will still want Declan to talk about investigative journalism in Nigeria. CM, your comment, please.
Thank you, Rudolph. Actually, I missed the main interview with Diola. I couldn't make it, though I saw it, but I went somewhere and then thinking that I will be back before the thing will finish. Anyway, from what I've gathered people to say is that nation building that is putting together, what I've had people say, involves the people of the nation that want to build their own nation. I agree that most of our talents are being used abroad. You could be abroad, earning millions of pounds or dollar, like the chap. Let me use this as an example. Dr. Philip Uzua. He graduated from University of Ibadan College of Medicine, I think 1985 or so. I stand to be corrected. He left for US, postgraduate degrees, master's, doctorate, and then start working. I've never had in my life, ever since I was born, that somebody donated 700 million naira at a time, which is $1 million. I've never had it. And from the news I read, they said the provost of the College of Medicine, probably one of their lecturers, or it could be their mate, a lady. She was sort of passionate that what could we do to restore the glory of a UI, being the premier medical school in Nigeria, highly respected, regarded. They called them to a Zoom meeting, just like we are having here, and then asked them to, what can you do? Somebody giving 100,000 naira, it's quite good. 200,000 here and there, and then probably hundreds of them, even if they didn't attend this, those that did not attend the Zoom meeting, we still hear it and then give something out, because that is given to your alma mater. But this chap, like I had, immediately he mentioned $1 million. It was like, what is ambulance? Wow, 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 wow. Everybody was shouting. You see, such a person, and then later I read that he donated $2 million again to Peter Obi's campaign. You see, such people, it is true, is donating money, which is good. I think the best way, because I'm not using him as a point of discussion for Nigerians in the diaspora, particularly those that are professionals or those that are, I know what I mean, not those that came and then for one crime or the other, they are in prison. No, bringing bad name. This type of person, I think the way to use people like this is, we might not really tell him to come back home. But if I'm the provost of the College of Medicine, University of Ibadan, I will ask him, say, look, I don't care that you donated 700 million naira. Let's assume it's 500 million you donated, or 350, which is half $500,000. But let us work out an arrangement whereby the best student from the College of Medicine, University of Ibadan, every year for the next 5 years, about 10, you will take charge that bringing them to US to train them in different field of medical discipline, surgery, neurosurgery, obstetrics and gynecology, anesthetics, pathology, and all what's not, stroke, everything, particularly the area Nigeria is lacking. And then the contract should be when we train them, they are coming back home. Imagine doing such thing for 10 years. The manpower, because he will be there as the person that will say, okay, come over. And we make an arrangement with different hospitals. We put you there and they make sure that when you train, you go back home. By saying that there are those in the UK again, and not only in medicine, because I'm talking of nation building now, other medical schools in Nigeria from Onsoka, ABU, Zari, everything. If they are doing all this, the next 10 years, we don't care. Because if these people are coming back, on their way coming back, they will also recommend that having trained in New York under Professor Ozua or something like that, we need to equip our hospitals in this way. This is part of the nation. So it's not somebody that will now tell you to come back home. Because when you see this type of thing, that is the way to use Nigerians in the diaspora. This is the way to use them. I mean, to tap the talent back home. Because right now, people are going away. Not that they are needed, but they want to get out. One, to develop themselves. Two, at least to live a semblance of a civilized life in the West. So if something like this could be done in every profession, engineers, architects, everything, I think it will help. So that is that is the aspect of nation building I'm looking at. It is true that politicians may frustrate it, but there's an extent they could go to frustrate it. If University of Ibadan decide to do it, I don't think anybody will interfere. This is what they want, using Dr. Zua as their point of contact. I don't think anybody will interfere. There's a limit the state could go to interfere in something like this. In fact, they may not even know it's taking place because nobody is bothering the federal government or the state government for funding. It's just an internal arrangement. You bring them over, I help to put them in different hospitals where they will be able to train whatever they are getting. After that, they are going back home because they've not gotten the skill. If you do it this way, it will help. So that is my idea of nation building from this aspect of discussion.
All right, thank you, Sim. I don't know, Dr. Ozua. I am actually trying to reach out to him and see if I can bring him on the show. But I'm sure also that some of those things you are saying is already going on. I know some doctors who are doing that. Some of them were on the show yesterday on the conference we had on COVID. They are already doing what you're saying. But also the part of giving back to your school is also important because there is the need. Now, you can say the government's supposed to fund the university. Sometimes government money will come and nobody can account for it. But if you send money from here, like some of those doctors are doing, you monitor it and they use those resources for what you want them to use it for. All right. Let me Paul, I know you're here and I know you want to say something, but let me I want Declan to talk about, because blaming the media has always been common on these conversations we have, and I'm still working on getting some media personalities to come. But Declan, you're looking at here was an investigative reporter at Sahara, so maybe he can use his experiences to talk about what the challenges are, because it's easy for people to expect that a reporter will just get into NNPC, find the documents and show it to you. Even we know you have Freedom of Information Act in Nigeria, but none of the state governments in Nigeria said that it doesn't apply to them. It's a federal law that they don't have to obey. Federal government, you talk to them, give me this document. Nobody will give you. The courts will not force them to give you the way that is happening in America. But Declan, have your say.
So I'll a couple things. So I think the first thing is the first question I asked Adeola, I don't think was understood by anybody. And it was, if you could go back and ask Buhari something, that you didn't, what would that be, right? In terms of hindsight, because that seemed to animated a lot of conversation. So it wasn't that the interview was bad. It was that, don't we wish we had, when we had him in the room and had our hooks into the guy, don't we wish we could have pushed him on something, and what would that be? And for me, I would want to know how he would manage, because this was pre-Radio Biafra, at least the next iteration. I would have wanted to know, I would have asked him how he plans to manage the situation in Biafra as it would be escalating if that were to happen. Because that's been a huge failure in terms of his presidency. But anyway, in terms of like the investigative reporting, and journalism and the issues is, so first, I think people mistake journalism for investigative journalism. So when they say, oh, you have to do your investigation, what they really mean is just fact checking. And so even our notion of what journalism is as opposed to investigations, it's usually conflated. But there's just this enormous, and I was in New York for the lion's share of the time. Sahara has to be in New York, otherwise they were going to firebomb us. So we were operating from there, and we would have relationships, and then we get the information and everything. So that was the first challenge, and we were privileged because the Nigerian government wasn't able to reach us in New York. Otherwise, they would have done terrible things. We used to get death threats. I used to get to even bring up since we've been talking about kind of homosexuality and lesbianism. I remember Bukola Saraki's people took my phone number because I used to harass Saraki and try to get all sorts of stuff and comments on him. Took his number. He thought, and then also Sowore's numbers, and they dumped him on, I think it was like Nairaland, and said that these people were trying to promote gayness in Nigeria. And it was about 3 a.m. and I started getting all these phone calls on my cell phone saying, why are you trying to destroy Nigeria? This whole thing. Right. So there's so much intimidation and harassment that happens. And we were lucky because we weren't in Nigeria. The second thing was when I would meet with people, they'd even try to bribe me. Right. And obviously I'm not a Nigerian. So.
Okay. Declan is frozen. He's in Kenya. So maybe they have a similar problem as we do in Nigeria. But let's hear from Paul first. I'll come back to you, Ikola. I know you want to say something. Paul.
Yeah, thank you. So let me just add a little bit to more enlightening to what my forefather was saying. I was privileged to go to Cornell University, graduation 2014. I was in Cornell. Cornell, for those of us that don't know, Cornell is among the 8 Ivy League in America. I saw graduates from Saudi Arabia. I saw graduates from the Philippines, but precisely Saudi Arabia, over 1,000 of them. The government was there, the ambassadors is there, and everything. These graduates, also with Japan. These graduates, when they are graduating, they are going back to their country to go and help. But how did it work? It worked like what the Cubans have been doing for many years. They train these people, they sign contracts like footballers sign contracts when they go play football in overseas. You understand? You're going to go to school, the government train them, and they're going to come back and give back to their society. And that's exactly what they did. But if my father worked tirelessly, people curse my father because people who are not up to him can build 1-2 houses in their village, in their community, and marry so much wife, and they give them all titles and train their kids. Then their kids went to the West, get all this knowledge to come back to Nigeria to be nothing. I don't think it works that way. So the people who go back and give to their society to some extent, it's like a contract thing. The government in turn first train you and you go back and serve the government. That's exactly what Cubans have been doing for many years as a doctors. That's why they have one of the highest doctors in the world. They train them and you give back. But in our own case, even though if you want to say all those things that, oh, people should go back, yes, it might work, but I think it might work with what you do. Say you do part-time thing, you just want to give back at your own free will. Like, oh, I just want to go do part-time lecture during my holidays and come back. Because I cannot be making the best in the course of my going to school in America, probably have a spouse, become my wife, we have kids, and my family is not willing to come back. Then I want to go back to Nigeria where I will make less than nothing. The system will treat me. People will tell you that, oh, this is not how they do things here. Everything you do, I cannot give an opinion to my own immediate family, my siblings. The only thing I can give that they appreciate, just send money and they tell me, thank you. But say I want to give my own opinion to any discussion, they say, no, they don't do things this way. This is how they do things. I don't think it works like that. So the Saudi Arabia who are doing these things, the Philippines who are doing these things, the Cuba that have been doing it for a very long time, the Japanese, even though China, the Chinese people send their people here, get this knowledge and go back. You understand? But when they go back, they treat them well. But in our own cases, there's nothing for you to do. You understand? It's hard. So let's be factual. Then a forefather, when you say all those things and you said you make mistake, for the fact that you said you make mistake, which means you just realize that you made mistake. I alone, I can buy you a ticket to go back to Nigeria. Me, I can buy you a ticket. I'm saying it in public. If you want, I can buy you a ticket to go to Nigeria. It doesn't work like that. My brother, you're going to come back. If you have the right papers to go back to UK, I can beat my hand on my chest. Under 1 year, you're going to come back. I work in the aviation industry. I see many of my people who came back and they left again. Some of us came to America, to UK. We end up moving back to places like the Middle East. Why? Because we are looking for the best life to raise our own family and friends. So it's not as easy as you think. Thank you for now.
All right, thank you, Paul. Forefathers, you have tickets available.
Thank you.
But no, I didn't say it. I just say I remember you very well. There's a ticket for you.
Yeah, I will hold into it. You know, when I want to travel, I'll hold into it.
Not travel, you want to go
I'm going to come here and I'm going to tell you. He thinks I'm joking.
When you want to go back.
See, I'm already transferring knowledge every single day.
That's but it doesn't.
It do not be wise to just go back when you give up advantage. I'm not saying we should give up any advantage. I'm saying we should have the best of both worlds.
Okay,
okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we have other conversations going on. I want to Declan to finish because you guys ask for it every time. Declan, finish your thought about media and investigation because
sorry, the power went out. So I think what I was saying as it went out was the amount of bribes that people tried to give us is incredible, and that includes me as a foreigner. Which isn't to say foreigners don't take bribes, because of course they would and do. But the amount of temptation and efforts to intimidate and bastardize people from doing stuff, surely all of us know that. But it's a lot. It's a lot of pressure, and to do this really well in Nigeria journalism is one of the most dangerous professions, right? And it's getting more risky. And then somebody like Adeola, who is both a journalist and a satirist and female. The amount of the disrespect and treatment that she gets because of all of those things is just very serious. So that's why the politicians in Nigeria do not want you to be able to think, let alone conduct investigations into their malpractice. They just don't.
Thank you. Yeah, he mentioned something that we always forget, that it's a dangerous profession, very dangerous. Everybody here, if somebody comes now and obtains a copy of your bank information and puts it out there in public, you know how you are going to react. Even people who cannot tell us their age and the school they went to, just imagine, you get their bank information and put it out there, and they have power. These are people who are powerful, So it's not an easy thing, and it's expensive. When you see some big blockbuster investigative reports, sometimes it could take a year to get the story right, and a lot of money. If you have to fly to Bahamas, go somewhere to meet somebody because don't feel that they should send information to you via the phone or through email, there are many aspects of it. It's not easy. And the media in Nigeria, that's something all of you know, but people tend to ignore that. Almost all the media in Nigeria, they are owned by politicians or people who are in bed with some politicians. So they are not really interested in doing it the proper way. They know why they set it up. Most of them are not profitable. There's no money for reporters to go from Lagos to Bayelsa, for instance, to cover something. They cannot have that kind of money. A flight from Lagos to anywhere now is about 100,000 naira. And you expect a newspaper to pay somebody they don't pay 100,000 naira a month to pay for them to fly to somewhere to invest. It's not easy. So sometimes we want the media to do magic when the structures are not there. Okay.
Dr. Damages, please let me add something to what Declan said. Okay. In my writings, I advocate for LGBTQIA issues. on the different fora that I belong to, I defend LGBTQIA rights, and Dr. Damages is aware of that. So if I offended Adeola, I apologize, and I hope you pass the apology to her. But as comedians, I'm also a well-accomplished satirist. Dr. Damages is aware of that. So sometimes we can make mistakes, and if I did, I apologize. But for it to be turned around into something that is not, it's unacceptable. That's all I want to say.
All right, thank you. Ikola, go ahead.
All right. Thank you once again. I quite appreciate your explanation, and thank you, Declan and Rudolph. But this is another side of it. I know but investigative journalism is dangerous everywhere, even in the States. Say you have something you want to say about a man like Rudy Giuliani. I don't think you're going to be able to walk on the streets of New York without looking, at your back. But what I'm thinking of is, but please educate me. I'm not saying I know it. I'm just saying things as a question and a comment at the same time. Is there a chance? Is there a chance whereby that journalists in our place are not even at all seeing this as a responsibility? Because I know one thing. If you go to one politician who is contesting against another politician and say, look, if you pay me to do an investigation on this guy and bring things about, because it's all politics at the end of the day, and do some reporting on this other person, believe me, there is a chance you get protection and the money you need while doing your job. Because the money, you're not putting it in your pocket, you are presenting that person to Nigerians as they are. Now, that other person, seeing what the other opponent has done, would also hire a journalist to do the same thing. And then you see the books are balanced. I have done an investigation on this guy, and he will give you all the resources you need. The other person will do an investigation on that guy and will give you all the resources you need. Except and like I said, it's still a question. I'm not saying I know it. Except you are telling me that these politicians connive with each other and say, look, just stop those journalists. Don't even give them a chance. But still come out on TV to talk dirty on the other person. So I still think our journalists haven't seen their responsibility to the people. And please correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, I'll go to the priest of peace, but let me just say this. I don't know if Declan has something to say about what Ikalala said now. But first of all, I think you're mixing two things. If you're talking about investigating your opponent in a campaign, it's not the job of the journalist to do. If the journalists, they want to do it, they do it for the sake of the nation, not by collecting money from opposing politicians. That's not what is done anywhere. So getting money from politicians is not a way to do your job, because the person giving you money also has some issues, and it should be an independent thing. When you talk about journalism and investigation, it has to be independent. It can't go to the people, the other side, to collect money to do the job of this other side. Then you are not a journalist at that point. People doing that are not journalists. There's something they call it in America. So anyway, but the point is that it's just take it from me. It's hard. It's even in America, it's getting harder. In Europe, it's getting harder because of the same issues, which is the resources. People are reading news without paying for it. The media, there's no media house anywhere in the world that is rich now the way they used to be. CNN, for the first time since it started, I think for the first time since 10 years or 20, they said that they didn't make up to $1 billion last year. So they're not, if you're not making, and you're talking about big organization that you have to pay a lot of people and do a lot of things and invest in the tomorrow's knowledge and tomorrow's technology. Anyway, let's leave that. Let's go to, I think I wanted to talk to the priest of peace.
Okay. I was sorry. Okay, maybe I should be quiet, but I just wanted to add one little thing to your explanation, which is a very good one. But would you say it is also wrong that, say, if you're a journalist, an independent journalist, and someone wants to do a dirty on the other person, and then you find documents which you don't really know where it's coming from, and it lands on your desk, and you have to read it, and you know by any chance that, I mean, somebody is just trying to paint the other person black, and they dump it on you and say, and you know it's true, would you say because it's coming from the other party, you're not reporting it?
No, no, that's not how it works. Declan, you can talk about that. I'm sure you have experience of that, but I can tell you that the important thing for this is also something that most people need to know here. People come to me when I was at Sahara and say, "Oh, Sahara is not. It's only writing stories about Igbo people, exposing Igbo people. It's not exposing Hausa people. It's not exposing Yoruba people. You know, this kind of story, this kind of thing." And I say to them, "Okay, this is how the media works. If you get a story, if you leak an information, a piece of document to me, anybody in the media, they want to be the first to publish it. If it's true, once they can confirm that this is true, they publish it. It doesn't have to be a big platform. If the people leaking information are from one side and information is getting to the media will publish it. The media, people want to sell their newspaper. People want people to click on their website. That's their first interest. And that's why they get stories wrong sometimes, because they are rushing. But if you can confirm that this is document from this person and it shows that this person is stealing money from the government, there's no website you give it to. They will say, we don't want to publish it. No, it's from the other side. It's from, no, they want to. If they don't, somebody else will. That's another thing. They know that if you give it to me and I don't want to publish it now, you give it to the next person. Nobody will stop you. I'm sure you are going to go to the next person and they will publish it. So that's basically how it works. I'm sorry, the priest of peace. Declan, do you want to say anything?
So yeah, no, sorry, the priest keeps getting cut off. Look, Ikolela, exactly what you're saying. I mean, this is part of what investigative journalism is, and it's complicated, right? And I think you're right to point out that it raises ethical considerations. The way we dealt with it, and Rudolph is right, we would always be accused of, back in those days, Bola Tinubu was our secret paymaster, allegedly, right? And everybody, it's always this thing. But we would, and the other thing, sorry, it's a bit of a tangent, but you'd have people call into the office, and then they say, let me speak to the editor, and then they route it to this guy, right, with my accent, and clearly I'm not Nigerian, but they were ready and geared up to say, you know what, you're a Yoruba, you hate Igbos. They're like, this, and then all of a sudden they're speaking to an American who's highly conversant in the story and those things, and there's so much mystery that people have, and they just assume all of these things. When something comes across your desk, you don't say, oh, I don't want to advance this political agenda as opposed to that. You say, is this true? Is this person stealing money? Is this person acting in a way which is in violation of kind of the office conduct, right? That's what you do. And sometimes you get more, particularly when the opposition is really active and they're leaking information on the government. So you end up pounding the government a lot more, but that's not because you're biased. It's because that's the information that's coming and you need to expose it. It's just that way. But I get why people would think that, and I get the ethics around it. But the idea is, especially with Sahara reporters, the idea was to hunt down and shame and name as many people as possible. That was the objective. And it didn't matter where from the country they were from. It was just shaming people and exposing them as much as we could. That was what we did.
All
like
right.
I said, I really thank you guys for what you do. I'm just it's just a learning process, so that's why I put it out. Thank you, both of you.
All right, thank you. All right, the priest.
All right, thank you, Rudolph. Unfortunately, I missed the interview with Adeola. I've been hoping to, interact with her one way or the other. For me, talking from the point of a priest,
it's always emotional for me, because when I look at what is going on, around the world and Nigeria in particular, it breaks my heart. That being said, I know the discussion here centers around nation building and also journalism. So it is imperative. It is very, very clear that we all understand why Nigeria is not working, because of the system. The system is the problem. And once that system is fixed, we will begin to see inroads in every aspect of life in Nigeria. But how do we fix this thing? That is the question. Is it by this coming election, or is it by every one of us calling out and saying, let's renegotiate Nigeria so that the system will work for us, will work for the people that have gone before us, and will work for our children. And the journalism and the press as well, the media is not doing any good. Look at the damage that has been orchestrated was as a result in Nigeria, as per security-wise, is as a result of the layback of the media in Nigeria, because they refuse to call a spade a spade. If the media has the boldness, the responsibility to say this is what is going on without landing softly or being politically correct, because myself, I am not politically correct. I will say it because I believe being a priest who is saying it the way it is without fear of favor. So in October, because what somebody said something, he made a reference to Singapore. Okay, these countries we are making reference to, or we tend to borrow anything from, have we ever thought about looking at their constitution? What binds them together? What kept this country moving? We haven't. We don't read in Nigeria. Nigerians don't read. They just peruse on something and they will carry on with whatever the first sentence that says something negative. They dwell on negativity. So for us to bring positive actions and positivity to the system we are trying to make work for us and our future generation, we need to sit down at the table of brotherhood and renegotiate that system so that it will work for everybody. And then the media has a part to play. Somebody was talking about the doctor that went to UI. I went to UI. I was in UI in 1994, Communication and Language Art. Unfortunately, I couldn't continue in UI after 1 year, and I went to Imo State University. So I know UI is a big place. What am I trying to say here? There is need for us here in diaspora to reach out home. And when we reach out to home, what will be the message we are giving out at home? Now that brings what I want to say here.
I was about to say you should round up.
Okay, I'm rounding up. In October, I have a program and I'm going to bring you on. I have a program. It is called Youthful and Useful. It is a summit that I want to organize for people from my senatorial district. And there I have already gotten people that are going to pay for scholarships, for whatever, and those that want to go abroad. This is a way of giving back to our society. Government is not doing it. But this is what we are doing. We are trying to do for the first time. I'm going to get all your contact, Rodolphe, so that you will speak on Zoom, speak to them, both as a journalist and, as a Nigerian. So that there will be impact, because this generation needs to understand that they have to stand up for the right thing and be responsible for their nation. If that nation is going to work in at all. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Shadrach, can you hear me? Okay, he's distracted. All right, we are rounding up now.
Yes, I can hear you.
You can hear me. Okay, Shadrach, where
Good
are you?
evening. Good evening, Mr. Yes, I can hear you. Good evening, Rudolph, Mr. Rudolph, and everyone. Yeah, I'm calling right from Abuja, Nigeria. First and foremost, I want to make a comment in respect to what forefathers just said concerning the video Miss Madam Adeola made. I've actually watched that video, and I've been a fan of Adeola for a long time, right from when she was still, with the Sahara TV. And if I can just give like a summary of what her aim is to achieve. She's one of the bloggers or one of those journalists that are talking about important issues, and her objective is to see that Nigeria become one of the Western world, like to be a good country that can reckon with the Western world countries, and not just Nigeria but African, the countries of Africans at large. So in that same video, she first of all, appreciated those that are making Nigeria proud outside Nigeria. That's the first thing she did. And after that, she, talk about the certain issues that Nigeria are facing, which she mentioned corruption and the rest of them. But after, when she was rounding up, she actually played a video of that guy that left Nigeria, the way he was happy, jubilating and everything. But she said that it's so sad and appalling that someone is so happy, even lying on the floor on the road, just because he was able to leave the shores of Nigeria. And that is a very bad reputation to us, as a country, and which is why Nigeria needs to get itself together. Nigeria needs to fix its country so that other people, not just Africans, not just Nigerians outside the country, but even the whites can be very happy whenever they are coming to visit Nigeria, be it for tourism or for anything. That being said, and I think all the discussion still boils down on one thing, for all this expatriate, like the Nigerians that have went to the diaspora, they have obtained their higher degree and so on there. For them to come back to Nigeria, I feel is something that is natural. It's natural if the system here in Nigeria is actually working, or if the system here support that. Because we are talking about those that left Nigeria to go and study after their studies to come back, while we still have those already that have gone to one of the best schools here in Nigeria, but the Nigerian system here is not really recognizing their value. It's not really giving them what they want in terms of the value of what they have read in school or what they have to offer. And a lot of them, when they get the slightest opportunity, they tend to leave or to migrate to another country where those countries will recognize the value of what they have to offer. So I feel strongly that if Nigeria, if we get ourselves together, if the system begin to work and all those areas we are talking that we are lacking, we begin that it's natural for people that go outside the country to obtain any tertiary qualification or skills to come back, to help the country move forward.
All right.
And the last thing I want to say is I will really appreciate you and the other journalists that are actually talking about this forthcoming 2023 general election. If you can more, if you can work more on sensitizing the people, because we have currently a movement that is going on. But the problem is, let's say this movement, which is the obedient movement, that is actually a new movement that is going on right now. If it comes true, the truth is the problem of Nigeria will still not be tackled because we fail to actually recognize the root cause of what we are facing right now. We need to get our local government to start working, start functioning effectively. We need to get our state function appropriately.
All right.
And I guess it's when we're able to get those things working, that's when the president can be able to do something reasonable if he gets there. But if not, it will still be the same. So I would like you to do. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. All right, we got your point, Shedrack. You want the local government to work. Okay, so to round up, I will call on Adewale. Go around, everybody. Final say.
Thank you, Dr. Damages. I believe I know that you've done well for yourself. You and Adeola, at least I started watching you guys right from Sahara TV. But the kind of journalism both of you practice, I mean, it's not easy to get even 10 people in on a show. I want to talk about 300 or 400, going to 500. So you guys have done very, very well. At the same time, the journalists back home in Nigeria, I think they are missing work and pleasure. You can make money instead of going on a corrupt route. If you go, YouTube is a platform that they can use. Blogging is there and all that. But unfortunately, when it comes to brown envelope, the truth is always very, very scarce. I know there's an element of bias when it comes to reporting, but when the journalist is not objective in their reporting, sometimes the ethics can be called into question. Now, going into nation building, we don't have to be in Nigeria to contribute to nation building. You can be outside Nigeria, you can be anywhere. It's not just about remitting money or all that. What we're doing right here is a nation building. The fact that we are all Nigeria, talking about the issue of Nigeria, other people are watching us and reading into our analysis and all that. It's also part of nation building. However, if you go to Nigeria, I mean, chances is that what we who will become here in abroad, we may not be half of that if we are back home. So the fact that there's where we are also provide us the opportunity to be able to contribute at this level is also a nation building. And I also believe that sending people abroad to school is a feature of a failed state. Because what is the purpose of sending people to go to school abroad? We should be talking about exchange program, whereby people from other country comes to Nigeria and we send our people over there. And if government individually, we can go anywhere. We don't have to be restricted to Nigeria. But when the government is the one sending people abroad for the purpose of going to school, acquire knowledge, that means that nation is failed. So when we talk about transfer program, exchange program, yeah, that should be the main focus of the government. And yeah, I think we are all doing well. At the same time, I mean, I'm talking about Dr. Dameji, to generalize now. You've done pretty well, and Adeola, and it's not easy. And they have followers, and people are watching. And what I've seen in her interview, she was trying to be neutral, but I can tell where her bias lies. We all know, we all want the best for the country. So, yeah, and that's what I have to say.
All right, thank you so much, Adewale. CM.
Well, just to recap on what I said earlier about nation building, it is really important. But then I forgot to add that Nigerians, like somebody pointed out, when we say we really want to build our nation, there are the ingredients, there are certain basic things we must realize. In Nigeria, we have to realize that we are different. And in being different, we need to come together. And in trying to come together, we have to define certain things clearly so that love for nation building will come out. I believe that the moment, because when I say this, I always refer to, I never knew that loving your country as a leader is much more important than even the skill or the talent you are going to bring, until I read Lee Kuan Yew's book on how he moved Singapore from third world to the first. The man just loved the country. That is the way you can say you love your wife or you love your children. That's just it. All his decisions, he must make sure, even negotiating with foreign powers, anything, he must put his country first. If you say it's no good, he will pull out until he gets what he wants. Whether you are going to help them with your military to help, he must make sure that the people of Singapore benefit more from it. Not him. He's not talking about himself. If he brings you as a minister to serve in his cabinet, he wants to know how much love do you have for the country. So I feel that all these things, the energy we dissipate in trying to tear ourselves apart. Supposing we devote 10% of it towards love, in which you say, no, I want this thing to be like this. This road is substandard. It can never happen. Under me, we can't have this. As a school, you call the teacher, say, look, you are not teaching them the right thing. In fact, under me, this type of teacher cannot be in the system. All what they are doing is just to show love for you. That is how you build. And when you are doing this, it radiates. So in our own system, in our own case, the love is not really there, and I don't know why. Simply because we haven't seen ourselves that we have a common project to contribute to. So whatever it takes for us to come around and say, this is what we want. Let us show love and build it up. Different people can build. Okay, all of us here, we are all different. But if we feel this is what we want to do, because of the love we want to bring into it, we forget about where we are, our background, and they move with that common love. So the love of a country, people say it's patriotism, but from Lin Kuan Yew's example, is patriotism is more than patriotism. You should show love for your country. If you don't have it, that's why our professionals are running away, because the government does not care. So why would they care? But imagine our leaders going to tell our doctors, say, look, we know you're working under bad condition. What do you want us to do? Want us to take a charge of our elderly population? If a governor or a president could say this, do you know it will change the mind of a doctor who must have packed his bag to leave? He will say, we know you are working. What do you want the government to do? We haven't got this money, but we can provide alternative, be managing this. They will, because that is appreciation. So that love must come there. But where a president or a governor feels that he has a gynecologist in Germany, a physician in California, another maybe a stroke consultant in London. So he hasn't got the time. All he wants to do is let me get out here. So, but the love must be there, and it should radiate from the leader down to the people. Until you see it, you can't. We all work in different establishments. If your manager pats you on the back, say, thank you, well done, you are doing it right. You may even put 10 minutes extra before you leave, just to thank you, say, oh, thank you. Well, whatever you are doing here, it hasn't gone unrecognized. So that will boost that will not increasing your pay anyway, but that will make you that you are recognized. So in other words, the love, they want you to really show, do it from your conscience, not being prompted by money. So that is one thing that is lacking in Nigeria, and this from our leaders. There's nothing like that. Until you read Lee Kuan Yew's book, you will now appreciate the love I'm talking about for a country. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Sam. Paul.
CM, thank you. I think that book, I've read that book too, and I love that book. I like to read it again and again and again. You see, Lee Kuan Yew, at the time, they call him all type of name. Some people even call him Antichrist. Some people call him Napoleon. Because people, it is hard for change. But when change comes, everybody embrace change. That's exactly what Lee Kuan Yew did. I live in Arizona. Arizona is the 48th state in America. And I live in Phoenix. Phoenix is the 5th largest city in America. I could remember how Phoenix started growing. They started growing some city. What they did, this is the duty of a government when you also love your people. They put roads, they put schools, they build industrial areas so that everything that will bring you there. And they give tax waiver. As a doctor, you have all the student loan. You want to come to this side hospital, we'll waive your student loan. Of course, you want to come. As a teacher, you want to come to this side, we'll waive your student loan. Nobody want to come to the west side. We'll waive your student loan. They want to come. Everything is being done the right way. You don't expect me, for those of us that live in Lagos, you don't expect me to live in Maitul and be working in Badagry. Of course, I'm going to die of traffic every day. So what they do, they put the schools there so that my kids will go school close to me. My family can go church close to me. And if I also want to change business, they started building industrial areas and everything. What they started doing, jobs started moving out from California, started moving to Arizona, because the minimum house in California is like $600,000 to $700,000. Why you can buy a house in Arizona for $200,000-$300,000. So those that have paid their mortgage for up to $200,000-$300,000, what do? They sell their house, they take their equity, they come to Arizona and pay cash. They have their own house to themselves. They started planning now to save money, 529 for their kids to go to college, so their own kids will not have student loan. So when people plan, the governors, they plan these things, it works for them. We have what our politicians call structure. This is the type of structure where governors put on ground for their people. So we don't even think about federal government. We think about state and city. We think about state and city. That's how it grows. So when people come to say, oh, California, some people get mad. The locals get mad here. They say, oh, California is making everything go up, because somebody will come here and pay cash. That's how Arizona started growing, doing better, even though the minimum wage in California is even bigger than places like New Jersey. Big states that some of you guys know. They started attracting people. Today now, Arizona is not thinking of bringing industries. Now they have started attracting high-tech. The high-tech industry, they started coming in. That's how you plan yourself. I am talking about my daughter. Guess what? The funny part of it, this same Arizona, you talk about education. Arizona is 48 out of 50 in Arizona. Why? The possibility of more immigrants started coming in, which affects their education because people don't really go to school. They come from Mexico, they come here. They started planning. I have a teacher from Nigeria that was teaching my daughter maths and science. My daughter is going to one of the best school in Arizona, 5th best school in Arizona, high school, 27 out of 50,000 in America is in Arizona. But the teacher that made my daughter pass to go to this school, they are all in Nigeria. I'm paying for internet, I'm paying for everything. They call me all type of yes, sir, yes, ma'am. These things don't cost me $150 a whole month. When I'm paying an Indian to teach my son coding, they charge me $400 a month. It's too much. I started training people how to do coding in Nigeria, which they thank me, they pray for me. At the end of the day, I pay $100 plus their internet services, and they are coaching my son. So we can make our country work even from afar. We can bring the knowledge we have here to help some of our friends, some of our colleagues. I work in the aviation industry. I give them most information, courses that they need to do that will help them, that will help them grow faster to do things. That's how we can do it. And then with this way, it's going to be better for every one of us. That's what can make our country grow. I know some of us just like the politics of bullying, cursing, or blame game and every other thing. I don't think it will take us that far. For further, don't worry. I look forward to seeing you in London. Bye. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Paul. That's wonderful. We see, we hear things that are helpful to other people on this show, even though people think it's just talk. People just talk, but we learn from others. And Paul, thank you so much for that. Shwode, okay, can you round up for us from your own end?
Yes, I've listened to all the comments. Someone mentioned private initiatives. And while private initiatives can help build society, most societies are built by government. When you have a private initiatives and government policies at variance with your initiatives, it won't work. Okay, America wasn't built by Bill Gates or Elon Musk. In fact, they use government resources to get rich. So until we have a country with good politics, these private initiatives won't take us anywhere. There are instances of people bringing ventures to Nigeria that will help Nigerians, and I'm a witness to that. And they will want you to bribe the approving authorities before you build a hospital or build a factory. So I just don't know where to start with with Nigeria. And I keep saying this, that our problem is genetic. People have gotten some converts now, but you know what? If everybody knows what you know, then you don't know anything. I will end here.
All right, thank you. Shadrach. Unmute yourself, Shadrach. Okay, go ahead.
All right, thank you. In a closing note, if we want to achieve the end result of what we want, or the kind of great country we envisage Nigeria to be, all hands must be on deck. We all have to contribute our own little quota, our own quota, no matter how little it is. And secondly, we all have to learn to hold our leaders, our politicians accountable. And I'm not just speaking for the president alone, but all those that are representing us, all our representatives at the ward level, local government level, and the state level. And until we're able to do that, definitely it will still take a long while for us to see a vibrant country. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Our forefathers.
Yeah, thank you for having me and being patient with me. I know that I can be a little bit rowdy. I think for me anyway, the gentleman's explanation about what Adeola, the show, I feel like what the impression it leaves is still the same thing. Sometimes it's not intentional, and it's like some of our pundits and journalists and politicians, what they do when they talk about security problem, they will just say, you know what, we need more technology, we need more intelligence, we need mercenaries. You know what, I think those people, they should just be thrown into the lagoon, because these type of people, what they are doing is that they are just misleading people. How can you be that ignorant that some of them, they go on to use actual examples of countries and they pretend as if they don't see what the country has done. They know the US has 10 times more soldiers than Nigeria. They know the US couldn't control Afghanistan and Iraq, and they talk about technology. They know full well America has the best technology in the world. Why do they keep repeating those things? It drives me crazy. Why that these people can't learn any simple lesson? You just go on Google. Everybody has a phone. Just check it out and see the facts, instead of going to feed your people false information. Because when we inject false narratives in a society, this is why we don't approach the problem objectively and actually look to solve the problem efficiently. Because we keep injecting falsehood. Oh, we need foreigners to come and help us. We need this. Nigeria uses less than 0.1% of its population to defend the country. 0.1%. How can these guys not know it? How can some of them have actually informed them of it, and they still go on to repeat the same thing? As a matter of fact, two of them, it's like two people agreeing with themselves. Let's bring foreign troops in to come and help us. Let's invite another woman's husband to come and save us. Those are people are the kind of people that they break into their house and they will just say they made the woman come and save them, or invite the next door neighbor to come and save them, because they'll go and hide under the bed. Those type of people, we should be seriously condemning them and holding them accountable, because sooner or later, our discourse has to have better and quality information, because these people are giving us falsehoods. They make us feel divided as a nation, only for me to find out that the nation is mostly governed by minorities. This is not even normal in the UK. The majority governs in the UK all the time. In America, the same thing. But in Nigeria, minorities govern Nigeria. The so-called North and South divide is not even there. It's just an illusion. Even if we go into religion too, it's not there. Half of the time of that country has been governed by Christians. The other half is the Muslims. It's not and it's because of our conditioning. These people keep repeating the same narrative and feeding us garbage so that we keep hating each other. And it's wrong. Somebody needs to be calling them out, especially when you are exposed to the right information. I can't accept when we keep going on, say, oh, our people should go overseas. Our diaspora minister is so happy to present people that are doing well overseas, having no plan for them to return back to the country. It's almost like slavery, really, because the slavery, they had to actually come to Africa to take us away. Now we are actually going over there and we are promoting them to do that. Nigerians have a term for it. Now they call it Japa. It's something that is like in everybody's mind. I've trained Nigerians in Nigeria only for them without training to use it to come and work for people in the West. This is a kind of destructive cycle that we have to break somehow. And there are examples of how countries break this cycle. The Chinese, they actually give their people that are in the West money to buy companies or create a company in the West. And when they buy that company, all the intellectual property rights and everything goes back to China. They invest in their people and send them overseas and encourage them to get involved in the system and gain influence. Our people are just like there servicing the West. Like we are some kind of, it's almost obscene. Like we are some kind of body factory where we just send our people over there and we are often treated terribly. And we go there and we just service the economies. Then our country is poorer for it, on and on. We have to start reversing this thing. And our people, like, that's why I called Adeola to this. I'm not saying she intentionally did it, because she too is conditioned. I was conditioned till how many years ago I started discovering that these things that we are doing, nothing has changed. And we need to start addressing them, because until we address them, we will keep blaming our leaders. This is not going to solve the problem, because
Forefather, before you finish, can you just throw more light on this thing? Xi Jinping of China today, her daughter is in Harvard schooling. Go ahead.
Exactly. So what they are going to do is that girl, when she finishes now, she's going to come back to her country. Look at that. You just mentioned China. One woman visited Taiwan. Look at what is happening now. That's the whole Taiwan now has been surrounded, and missiles are flying all over the place. Not the wall. Just one woman walked into that country. All hell broke loose. Because why are they different from us? It's funny. Chukudi said something about whether we have low IQ. I think it's not low IQ. It's conditioning. We keep repeating wrong information to our people constantly. We don't understand that our threat assessment antenna is completely broken. We don't understand when our security is being compromised, and our leaders don't tell us. You have in Niger Republic, France is opening a new military base there, as if they don't have enough spies there. America has got the military base there. No, we just say, let's send money to Niger, as if they don't have enough money from the Western people that they're allowing to come and build military base in their country. These are the kind of things our journalists should be knowing about. These are the kind of things other countries don't accept. So why are we not seeing it from our journalists? Saying that, why call our leader out and say, why are you allowing foreigners to come next door to us? Why are you not recruiting people to service the country, to defend the country? Instead, some of our journalists are going there advocating that we should create jobs for foreigners and use our earned money to pay them to kill our people. This is madness. This type of behavior is so wrong-headed. And we are not doing it. We have not even done 5% of what we can do to defend our country. This is why I'm calling out some of these people that go on channels and say these things. I like Jide a lot, but in terms of the way he talks about Nigerians, he really does empathize with Nigerians. But when he's prescribed solutions, they are often wrong-headed. You know, even Adeola talked about corruption being the issue of Nigeria. No, corruption is not the issue. Our institutions are not strong. Our country is not strong. If I say a country like Nigeria, I can mess that country up, because how can one soldier be expected to defend 2,000 people? It's just unrealistic. American soldiers with all their best weapons don't even do that, and this is what it drives me crazy. Anybody that says that, in my head, I'm imagining, I wish I can throw that guy in the lagoon, because this needs to stop.
All right, we can't throw anybody today.
I know. I mean, it's my head. I'm imagining it.
Okay.
You know, throwing them, they are flying.
Thank you.
But Forefather, what you must understand, the only way you can treat emergency, as I made by my training, is of emergency. Other countries of the world also use machineries when there's need. Okay. You understand? That's why even countries of the world, they have partners
not inside their countries. Not inside their countries. Anybody that
I don't understand what you are talking about. Why is South Korea partner with American military? Is it not the threat of North Korea?
Because they are alliance.
China? I don't know.
It's a strategic alliance.
That's exactly what you got to do. You have to bring something to the table to get those kind of deals cut.
The power differential between us and them is so small.
That's why Xi Jinping can send his daughter to China, to America, to school, because they need the knowledge. You understand? It is clear when they say something is first world nation and the third world nation. You understand?
They come back to their country. That's what you are missing. They actually come back
to their country because they create an enabling environment for them to strive. That's what you must understand.
South Korea that you talked about is a strategic ally, because America needs it to counter China and North Korea in that region. That is why they are doing well. America doesn't need us for anything. That's why they leave us poor.
No, South Korea also have something on the table for America to deal with them. You have to understand these things.
Guys, okay, let's stop for now. We will continue this conversation. Let me get the last person to give us his closing talk. Ikola, go ahead.
Hey, thank you, Dr. Rudolph or Dr. Damages. It's been an enlightening conversation, but I still hold this. As everybody here has said. I now understand, although I've always known, that there's a risk involved with our investigation journalists or journalism in the Nigerian context, and it is very high. But let's be very honest. There are some things that has already been done that doesn't really need any investigation. Because when I read in 2009 about, which was glaring, about Buhari's play in PTF, the man actually helped bring expired equipment for Nigerians. The man in his time in NNPC, the man, his father is from Niger. Why didn't anybody just open up a book and read this? The journalists gave him a free hand. It was like we've seen a Messiah, and they condemned Jonathan to the hilt. If somebody has just done a little reading and brought these things to the fore, I mean, maybe Nigerians would have had a change of heart. So I totally understand the danger. I totally understand the risks, but I must also understand the laziness of our journalists, because these things are sometimes you don't have to do much work. Like David is doing now. He's in America, and he just sits on his computer and does some query, and he brings out things that are very interesting and very educative.
All right.
So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I want to thank everybody that joined us today. I appreciate your time, and we'll be back on Sunday next week.
I think Adewale wants to say something.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm not looking at
Yes,
this.
just real quick.
Okay.
Just real quick. Now, what I've observed is that I want to address the viewer. If you are a woman and you are in the comment section or you're watching this show, please always join this show. We need a female or woman input. We want their say too. It's not just ordinary all the men all the time. We want them to come and have their say and have their input, please.
That's a
and
good
one
point.
thing, Dr. Damages said he could increase the capacity of the show from maybe, I don't know. I don't think he has brought that up. I don't know why he's not
We
bringing
can
that
give room. We can give room. I mean, there's nothing wrong in it.
he's talking about me having about 25 persons or up to 50 persons at the same time.
With the way we display our masculinity, sometimes the chaos will be too. I don't know.
No, you have a control whereby he can pause you if you don't want to be, if you don't want to give others room to speak. He can always do that. But I think what I was just trying to say is I think he needs some resource to be able to make that happen. So I don't think he has brought that to the fore yet. So I think it's something everybody should just look at and help him out with the resource.
I think that's the more reason why we have super chats. You guys can help. $2, $3, $5 here and there.
Oh,
It's
okay.
right there.
I haven't
Super chat.
seen the donation part. I would have done it.
Check it is there. Super chat.
Super chat.
Is there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
And also like and share.
Like the video and share so that more people will watch as we go. Thank you, and I will see you guys next week. This week on Wednesday and on Saturday, and of course next Sunday we are going to have another guest. Thank you, and stay safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.